All right, we're live, boys and girls. Oh, wow. Brandon, you have another girl on with you.
Yay!
Girls, plural.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it looks like I think Anthony is going to join us later. He said he was anyway, and I
No
think
one
we
cares.
we might have some pop-ins, but looks like we got some of the standard crew here. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Fantastic.
All right, and we also looks like we got a couple of Board Game Geek All-Stars here as well. So Lincoln, Nikki, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
That is a giant cup. What are you drinking, Lincoln?
It's Crystal Light or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Gin and juice.
Gin and juice, yeah.
All right, well, cool. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the recent stuff with Gen Con. It seems like everybody's getting pretty excited about Gen Con making a stand, which I think is very interesting. I don't know. I don't know how political we wanted to get tonight, but I'm willing to go there if anybody else is.
We just got excited about it maybe moving from Indianapolis. No, I'm teasing.
I think that'll be the best thing that ever happened to it. I think.
Well, where else would it go, though? Honestly,
There's not many. Yeah. We talked about Vegas was an option, but that's too hot.
well, plus Vegas has like a connotation to it, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
In Indianapolis, I mean, it's like theoretically. Well, I've had people say like Indiana is the South, but it isn't the South. Like if that makes sense. So it's like kind of like that kind of mentality and hospitality atmosphere to it. Whereas Vegas, it's got that weird, I don't know. Like, well, it's Vegas, you know. I mean, it's booze
it could certainly
and gambling and yeah.
It could certainly handle the size, right? I mean, there's not very many other places that can. I think maybe San Diego, probably Vegas, and I don't know if Austin's big enough. I know they have South by, but I don't know how big their convention center is. I'm not sure.
Well, hypothetically, if they would move, I mean, Indianapolis, like, the reason they're there is because it's so central, and because of the fact that then, like, people, it's easy to get to, or whatever, you know, it's kind of equidistant. So if you're going to go that route, then Las Vegas would be. But so if the reason why they're going to quit is because this ridiculous piece of legislation that they want to put into place, which, you know, I'm kind of tipping my hand as far as my opinion on it, but then I just find it funny that, okay, so they'd wanna they hate this legislation, but then they'd want to go to Vegas, which is like, you know, like supposedly like the den of sin or whatever. Because my brother lives there. My brother lived in Vegas for, well, gosh, about 20 years now, and I mean, I go and visit him all the time, and I like Las Vegas a great deal, but it's definitely a different atmosphere there.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
He could probably go to the McCormick Center in Chicago.
But I've heard that Chicago, it's like even worse as far as like having enough people or size, like as far as the size goes. I mean, everybody complains about Indy, especially lately. They've been complaining about Indy because of the fact that it's you know, you can't get a hotel room, and if you know, and then the housing, and then also it's like, you know, getting, you know, as far as like having to bus in basically, and how it isn't big enough anymore. I mean, I remember I was talking to somebody that had gone to Gen Con pretty much every year until about 2006, and they said it's just too big. They don't like it anymore. And Gen Con's huge now.
We're on the waiting list to get a downtown hotel, which sucks because we got a lot of stuff to tote back and forth as vendors, right? Exhibitors. What were you saying, Lincoln?
I just don't know where they would go where they have that kind of access to the convention center and so immediate with a huge chunk of the hotel space.
Yeah.
Is anybody even like a semi-lawyer? Can Gen Con really break their contract? I mean, I mean, cause supposedly we've all heard they're booked there through 2020. I mean,
It would be. I think it would be horrific. Actually, I've got contracts myself that if you break them, you get shellacked.
Yeah, Gen Con didn't threaten to break their contract. They've only threatened not to renew it.
Yes.
And they already went bankrupt once.
Yeah. Well, this. Yeah. I mean. Well. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, hi Keith.
Hi.
I mean, say what you will. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's it's kind of an interesting thing as far as the legislation goes, and it's very polarizing as far as the opinions of it, people's attitudes about it. But
Well, you should live here.
well, you live in the area, right, Keith?
Yeah, I live in Indiana, so I
Yeah.
mean, this directly affects me and the people that I know.
Well, what do you think about it?
The people that I know, the people I work with, we all hate it for the most part. It's something, you know, I work with a lot of minorities in my industry, especially in a small town. A big chunk of the minority groups and lesbian, gays, etc. in my community work at my facility. So it's a big deal for these people, and they're worried about it. There's nothing that says it will hurt them, but there's nothing that says it won't either. So it's a big concern for us. And actually, the city of Indianapolis, the Republican mayor of the city of Indianapolis is directly opposed to this because he knows what it means to his city if people pull away. While this is legislation is affecting the entire state, the city loves their conventions. They love the people that come in and bring money. And the people running those businesses downtown don't care whether you're gay, straight, black, white, man, woman, or Klingon, or Stormtrooper, or half-dragon person. They want to take your money.
Half dragon, really?
Yeah, there was another convention actually threatening to leave as well.
There's even a church convention threatening.
Yeah, that was when I was
Yeah,
reading
that's
about.
And there's a third convention, which is a music festival, threatening to leave.
Well, they got a big decision to make, I guess.
Well,
It's already passed the House, right? The House or the Senate.
The governor's going to sign it tomorrow. He's not going to back down.
Oh, mhm.
Well, here's my weird question. Here's another question. This is just I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here, but okay. So if they're going to break the contract, like if they can't break the contract, they say they won't re-up. Well, re-upping is 5 years away. So I mean, it seems then like theoretically, is it something where they're saying, well, since you did enact it, even if they repealed it, say like in 2018. I mean, would they just say, okay, fine, we won't? I mean, then in a way, it's like kind of weird because then Gen Con can kind of have their cake and eat it too. You know, they can shake their fist and they can say, go ahead.
You don't wait that long to renew a contract for this big of a deal. If it gets signed tomorrow, the Gen Con will start looking for another city. From what it seems, right? Like, you do contracts. I think this contract has been going for like 10 years, right? They probably did it in chunks of like 4 or 5 years at a time, and then probably their latest renewal got them 2020. But they'll start looking tomorrow.
Well, so like what they would sign a contract that say like starting in 2021, we'll be doing it here, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, it won't be. They won't be waiting for it a maybe. Like they got to take care of what they need to do, right? Assuming it's not a bluff and it's a true statement from the CEO or the president or whoever she is. I don't really know Gen Con's internals too much.
Interesting. All right. Well, in less like serious news, what has everyone been playing lately? I'm gonna jump in and say I have been playing. I played a bunch of. Now, of course, I'm blanking. I've been playing a lot of Eggs and Empires just because it's quick and easy. I played at work, and then Boom Runaway as well. It's just a quick game I can play at work. I played I actually got a review copy of a game called War of Kings that I've played, which is actually a lot of fun. It's definitely one of those, like, this is a game these guys have been working on for the last 10 years of their lives. But if you remember the game War Party that came out like 4 or 5 years ago, yeah, it was a great deal. It's got some semblance to that a little bit, but just your standard kind of medieval take over the area and control the world type of game. But I don't know. Anybody else been playing anything interesting?
I played some Boom Runaway, some Love Letter Batman and Hobbit, Spyfall, Eldritch, etc. Dragon Scroll finally.
What'd you think of Dragon Scroll?
I think it's a light little game full of stupid randomness, but we had a lot of fun screaming and yelling at it. I don't know that I'd pay the price I paid for it again, but it's a cool showpiece.
Well, the awesome thing about any of those games is that you can resell them for a ton of money.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, you're good to go.
I hate the Hobbit love letter.
Well, is it that much different, or?
It's got an
is.
instant out combo that I hate just as much as I hate the Kenai Factory Edition. If you draw Toriel and you have the Arkenstone, you're out.
Now, that seems like they're just trying to cash in on the game, honestly. Which,
Batman's more fun. I actually like Batman probably the best of all the love letters right now.
because it's Batman, or what?
The mechanic they added where if Batman, who replaces the guard, eliminates a villain through that action, he gets a point instantly. So you can rack up a lot of points quickly in that game.
Points, you mean like the letters, the equivalent to the letters?
Yep. You
Oh.
get little Batman tokens instead of the little red cubes, and you basically get the same reward you get for winning a round whenever you eliminate someone as Batman. Plus, everyone, every time they lay it, has to go, "I'm Batman," because that's what you do.
Nice. Barry, what have you been playing?
No, I got Tuscany to the table. I'm sorry, viticulture to the table for the first time. It was a neat little middleweight Euro. XCOM a couple more times. That's about it. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else. Yeah.
Just keep making lots of noise, Rhiannon. That's nice. Thanks.
Put your shawl on. There you go.
Yeah, put your shawl. There you go.
Don't leave the shawl.
What about you, Lincoln? Nikki, you been playing anything?
Pandemic: The Cure has been our
Oh, yeah.
favorite thing of late. It's really great.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh, pandemic games.
I like the Cure. I like the Cure a lot.
The dice game is awesome.
Yeah. The dice are just, it's great.
What makes it great? Sell me about it. I've been a
Well, if you
professional
don't like
pandemic hater for a while, so.
if you don't like Pandemic, it's a tough sell because it's the same game, the same kind of tension, but with the dice mechanic, which is a lot of fun.
So none then? No tension at all?
Oh, it's tough. Unless you're amazing, I don't know. I don't know how
Crazy.
people are always supposedly. We won that game handily. I'm like, wow, you guys are amazing. I don't know.
What?
I've heard people that just
Oh,
have no
no.
problem winning that game.
We
winning those games.
lose.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That was great. Love the losing. It's fun. I have the biggest fun of all whenever we lose. It's a
Just
blast.
because it's a tragic loss.
Yeah. Gross. That's why we can't wait for Legacy. We played like the earliest round of playtesting on that, and I was blown away at that point in time, and that's been another year of development, so it's probably spectacular.
I remember the pilot that was afraid to fly.
Yeah. Got the scar that he couldn't fly anymore, or didn't want to fly anymore. It was awesome.
Yeah, I talked to the designer, Matt. I had an interview with him about Thunderbirds a while back, and I asked him if there was any like secret special, like inside the insert type of stuff that they're going to have in there. And it sounds like there is. There's going to be some cool, crazy stuff. So that might be the game that makes me buy a Pandemic game again.
Oh well. I like The Cure. It's awesome. It's really fun. You should try it at least and see what you think, because it's a little different, you know?
Got cool little bits.
Yeah, the bits are amazing in that game.
There's like a plastic
Ring that you track.
with little poker deals.
Yeah, peg holes that you
Yeah.
track, like the outbreaks, and great. Really nice production.
I'll try it.
Yep, that's easy. And I'm sure somebody's got it around you.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody does. Anthony, welcome.
Hello.
Nice. Aldi, what have you been playing?
Oh, I played Innovation again a bunch. I really like it still. And I played Argent or no, what is it?
Argentum?
Argent, the consortium.
Yes, Argent. Yeah, I was trying to combine it. Argent the Consortium.
Did you have a table big enough for it?
Yeah, we had this 60-inch round. It barely held it.
Yeah, that game is huge.
I think the game has a lot of interesting things going on. I think it will be a popular board game geek game, for sure. It's a
I think that's
game with fireballs.
Yeah, I think that's the best game that the Level 99's made so far, in my opinion. So
It's definitely the most Euro,
yeah,
but with a million pieces of chrome to make it crazy interesting. I don't know. I liked it. I don't think like strict Euro gamers will like it because there's a lot of direct conflict.
see, that's why I like it.
Yeah, I mean, a flavor gamer will definitely enjoy it. So it's got a good combination.
Flavor gamer.
Theme gamer.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is your flavor?
You're not putting things in the trading in the Mediterranean or anything like that.
All right, Zach's here. I invited Zach Connolly is he's a game designer that he's got a game that just hit Kickstarter today, and I invited him to join us this evening. So
I'm not backing anything on Kickstarter this week. I'm
You
just
don't
gonna
need
make
to. How you doing, guys?
how you doing, Zach?
Well, we were talking about Love Letters Batman before, right?
Yeah, we were. You have an opinion on it?
Keep reskinning these games. I don't know. That's it.
Well, as long as there's already like 3 versions of the original Love Letter out, so they had to to make more money, they had to find some other way to pimp it. So that's fine. I mean, I don't know. I'll try the Batman one once, I'm sure, just because out of curiosity for Batman. So
I'm just a huge fan of the regular Love Letters.
Does the retheme, Keith, since you've played several of them, did they make the game feel any less long?
I think Batman can go quickly because I saw people score 3 points in one turn out of the 7 you needed to win. I actually did that to win the game last night, so it can go quickly if you either deduce or get really lucky.
Because I house rule Love Letter anyway, so it's only 2 letters.
So you play 2 rounds?
Yeah, well, so whoever gets the first one, and then if they get that second one, we don't play to whatever the 4 or 7 or whatever it is, because it's like everybody could get 3 before someone gets 4, and it just seems like that's a bit much. How much courting does this woman need?
Did you see they took Lost Legacy and the Starship and put it back together into one box?
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of the Legacy Starship stuff. I don't know. It wasn't the. I don't know. It was just like a lesser Love Letter. In which case, then why don't I just play Love Letter? So.
I like mixing the sets. I find it a lot more fun to mix the sets than to just play one of them out of the bag.
Fair enough.
Do the mechanics all work together, or?
Yep, it's designed so that you can mix and match. You just have to pull all the X's or all the 1s or all the 2s or all the 3s and swap them out and create your own new game. They'll work fine together. You can make it more cutthroat, less cutthroat, depending on how you want to do it.
All right.
Well, it was originally a full game anyway, right? The Japanese release was combined, and they split it for AEG, right?
Yeah, but they're putting it back together again.
Right. Well, another reason to just release it, correct?
Yeah.
Re-releasing, retheming, and repackaging.
Has anybody seen Lost Legacy Legend?
I have not.
It's 8 new versions of Lost Legacy.
I've seen it.
Oh, jeez. See, this is the whole thing, and allow me to rant here a little bit. This is what's kind of making me mad about the hobby right now, is because it seems like everybody just wants to come up with the newest Love Letter, or the newest 10-minute card game, so they can sell. I mean, I understand it's to make money, so you can sell 20,000 copies of it at $10 a piece, but I don't know. Nobody seems to be interested in making big games anymore. At least not the big game. At least not the big name publishers, other than, I guess, technically Fantasy Flight. But then again, my problem with Fantasy Flight is they don't have anything original anymore. Everything's got to be based on some intellectual property and just expanding upon what they've already made. So it just seems like it's just more of the same, more of the same. It's like, oh, you like X-Files and you're gonna love Armada. It's like, I didn't like X-Files. I mean, not X-Files, X-Wing. I didn't like it. I didn't like X-Files the game either. That game was a pile. But anyway, so
Hey, Lance,
everyone's what, Anthony?
doesn't that kid have a new bed he should be sleeping in?
Yes, but his mother is at the gym right now, so
Okay.
he's just having fun, and it's either this or I have to chase him up the stairs another 8 times before he goes to bed.
No, that's all right. Let him hang out.
Oh, well, thank you for letting me let my son hang out.
As far as the latest games played, let me go ahead and make an unpopular statement about a game I just got to play. So everybody's been going gaga over the Game of 49. I got to play it last night. I didn't see the
What game?
Game of 49.
What are you talking about? Game of 49? I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's the auction bidding game. It comes with a board that looks like a bingo board, and you flip a card, and you're like, oh, I want my chit to go on that spot. And you're like, I'll bid this much. No, I'll bid this much. And you're just like, oh, kill me. I mean, it's so fun and great.
So you didn't care for it either?
No.
Okay, then I'm not the only, because everybody's like, Marty, you got to play this game, and the guy who taught it to us is gaga over it, and the 3 of us, when we were done, we were like, okay, I don't need to really play that again. I mean, by the end, we were like, would somebody just win so we could move on? And I'm probably in the minority, but it just didn't blow me away, and it probably because it was too hyped up. Too many people hyped it up to me, and I was expecting more than what I got.
I feel like my Nana would have loved it. She'd been like, wow, this is so fun. But she also loved bingo, and I think that would have the same feel for her. So
It's bingo with bidding.
pretty much.
Or Connect 4 with bidding.
That doesn't.
Bingo-based Connect 4 with bidding.
Yes.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing a pretty good job selling it, I think, actually.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny. I thought everybody's going to jump on me like, Marty, you're an idiot. And everybody's like, yeah, you're probably right.
I've never even heard of the game, so I have no idea what you're even talking about. So.
I can't judge it because I can't play auction games.
Why, you're no good at him, or what?
Oh, horrible.
So I take it you're not going to back Vault Wars, then?
I am backing Vault Wars because
That game is super fun.
I'm gonna suck at it.
That game is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Is anybody? I mean, okay, since let's dovetail into Kickstarter and let's let Zach talk about his game really quick that he just put on Kickstarter right now. Zach, you want to take some time off our hands here and talk about main event?
Not too long. Main event is just a small fighting card game. Programmable actions, and it's got that take that kind of element. I know you guys are looking more for the long 4-hour Euros, but it's a fun little filler game to play with your friends.
Nope, this is one I've taken to my. This is a game that I play over my lunch hour at work, so it works perfectly for that. Plus, it's got a professional wrestling theme, and you sold me on that immediately because I was a big professional wrestling theme guy. So.
Very cool. But yeah, that start of March, everyone just kept coming out with these Kickstarters. I mean, people are fed up with Kickstarter. I know Rihanna's fed up with Kickstarter already.
This chat cost me 4 Kickstarters last week. I backed 4 Kickstarters last week. I got to tone it down. And I bought a comic book. What else did I do? I did something else. Oh, and I bought an RPG. I did way too much damage last week, so I'm on a break.
Are you getting all the email notifications?
I'm turning all of those off as well. So I saw on the Geek that Game Night's coming up. There's a new season of Game Night.
Starts tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
We got our first episode will probably go up tonight or tomorrow morning.
What's the game you're gonna do?
We are doing a wonderful game called Headbands.
Yeah.
Okay, no, seriously, what game?
Euro.
The reason why we chose it is because we shot it with these guys.
Here we go.
There's Dave. And there's Aaron. I can give him one.
I gotta do Aaron. Okay.
So we wanted to pick something that didn't have hands, and so
Yeah.
we did the whole thing with these guys.
Oh, now see, I want a puppet from them, or a Muppet from them, Anthony. You might be off the hook.
Go ahead, get one from them.
No, Anthony, how's my Muppet coming, Anthony?
They have tons of money.
No, these,
Saw
a
those,
friend of ours
honest.
did these.
Yeah.
He actually did them for Tested. .com. They have these blockhead characters, and he designed these puppets. He's done. He's a stage guy. He did Avenue Q, a full set of those puppets. Yeah, so he rents those out. So we thought we wanted to have these guys. They're pretty neat.
Yeah, he did the.
They do look pretty awesome.
They have props too.
Yeah, they have props. They have meeples, and hold on, get them.
Cups.
Where you at?
You don't have.
So the puppeteering episode took probably 20 hours to make. Is that
Yeah,
about
A
accurate?
labor of love.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got
So
meatballs.
I have to get the big.
Here, let me just turn your camera on, so then and just leave it on that one there, guys, so then they can see everything. All right.
Wait, point to the meatball.
The meeple, and then one of our cups, and then a little iPhone. Oops, upside down. Because I guess I use it to do the timing, but did a really neat job. I love the clothes, the little t-shirts,
Oh yeah.
the new California T-shirt. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that'll go up tonight.
That goes up tonight? Well, I'll have to check that out. Now, I actually wanted to ask Zach something. Zach, so were you a big wrestling fan growing up?
I mean, I grew up more during the Generation X era, which most people kind of think was the worst era in wrestling. I thought it was great. But yeah, I loved it. I mean,
that was, what are you talking about? That was the heyday. That was when you had the NWO.
Oh,
that was back when
I thought
WCW was still something.
But it's not exactly the golden age.
Well, it wasn't the golden age of wrestling as far as like the old, like the 80s with Andre and Hulk at WrestleMania 3, or was that WrestleMania 3 or which was? No, WrestleMania 3 was when Macho Man finally dropped the Intercontinental Belt to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in like probably the best match of all time. I think. Of course, I'm talking. Nobody's listening to me. I was a big wrestling mark. I remember the day. I remember when I was watching Saturday afternoon wrestling with my dad, and hi buddy, and I was sitting there and we were they called a guy out of the crowd that they said that like, oh, let's see if Hulk Hogan can do push-ups with and he said, get the biggest guy in this ring and I can still do push-ups or something. And so they found this big, huge, rotund guy, and then they were like, so okay, yeah, and then like so he come out there and he was gonna do push-ups and the guy jumped and landed on his back and started like jumping up and down on him, and then it revealed that he was Earthquake. And that was like when they brought like the first big guy, the natural disasters of Earthquake. Yes, buddy. Earthquake and Typhoon. And I remember saying, "Oh my gosh!" And he's not gonna be able to wrestle tomorrow for the main event, or he's gonna be disqualified for the title. And then they took him away in an ambulance. And I told my dad, he's like, "He's not gonna be able to wrestle tomorrow." And then my dad told me it was all faked. And then I was just like, oh.
Wait a minute, what? What?
Spoiler alert.
He's probably cracking a beer back there right now. He said, and talking about the match. So. Yes, Captain is a boat.
I love this little puppet guy right here. Which one's that?
Oh, sweet.
But no, but that was I grew up on wrestling, and then back in like the early like that 93 to 96, that was like the and then when was Generation X? Was that 98? That was around 97, 98, 99. That was back when like they threw Mick Foley off the top of the Hell in the Cell and everything. Like
Sound drop out for anyone else?
Yeah,
It did just now.
So, Lincoln and Nikki, I'm curious, how long did it take you to? How hard was it to sync your cameras with these puppets? Because I know you have at least 3 cameras.
Yeah, so it was a pain because we shot the episode as us, and then edited it, and then ran that as we mimed the puppets and fixed, anytime we dropped something really, dropped the ball real bad, we'd redo it. And then we used the overhead shot because we have no hands, the puppets have no hands. So we'd have the overhead shot picking up cards or moving the chits. And then, so when I edited the full episode with the puppets, it was 3 timelines. So I was constantly having to resync to the main, because I had the edited episode as the template, and the overhead camera, which was us playing the game straight through, and then our puppet playing episode, which was several hours long. Like we just kept it running, so it'd be like we'd take a break for 10 minutes because we're we're basically at our tables, but underneath, lying on the floor. Or like Nikki propping herself up to hold it up. So we were tired. It was definitely brutal.
I can't wait to see it. I bet that's going to be awesome.
It's fun. It's silly for sure.
Something to laugh at.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Nikki's a pretty awesome puppeteer.
Yeah.
Her and Dave do a good job. I'm pretty terrible.
It'll be like the puppet episode of Community.
Yeah, seriously.
that was a
The
great
next one we
episode.
gotta do is animated.
What, like the stop motion, the Christmas special one?
Or full animated. That'd be awesome. Hey, puppet.
See, I saw those in the background.
I know.
What's
Immediately,
in that say?
what are those? But
Awesome.
someone's probably already talked about them before. Those are cool.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to do Muppets, but full Muppets, but they were very expensive.
Never go full Muppet.
Never go full Muppet. They'd have hands.
I want that on a shirt.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's great.
Very clever. No, I was. You mentioned that it took so long to do the Muppet episode, which sounds really awesome. But it reminded me of the back when Team America and the guys did Team America, and everybody was like saying like, when are you going to do Team America 2? Because they liked it so much, and they said never because they burned all the puppets because it was the toughest thing they ever made. And they said,
Yeah, it was supposedly very hard.
Yeah, they sent the Muppets their puppets to people that asked for them, and for those people that didn't want them, they burned them in a bonfire, so they'd never have to do the show again. Do another movie like that again.
Yeah, I don't. It's tough. I couldn't imagine, especially. I mean, they were filming those, and it was the Chiodo brothers puppeteering those, and I know that those guys are professionals. So if it was difficult, it must have been really rough.
Yeah, I mean that's just I don't know. That's that's the thing is like it's cool that you're doing something different and switching it up.
It was just it's kind of April Fool's / just a fun season opener, something different because we're shooting in this. We have a new space that we're shooting in so that we can leave the lights up. So we spent a tremendous amount of time getting it ready in time to shoot for the new season, and that it was just a fun way to transition.
Yeah. Hopefully people will like it, but I don't know if anyone asked us to do the puppets again. I don't know if we would.
It's hard. They're
They
really
look
hard.
like pure pain. So I watched them from afar, sitting here in Dallas. I had a webcam, so I watch almost every game night film to try to help.
Yeah,
catch
answer
problems
questions.
or whatever, and I watched them do the puppets, and it looked like torture. I mean, like those stress positions that they put you in school, or do they still do that?
I don't know. You went to a weird school, Scott.
I went to
I was gonna say, what
yeah, I
kind of
went to
school did you go to?
I went to a Christian school.
Scary.
They put us in stress positions if you were bad.
I remember people having to put the books in their hands and hold them.
Right.
That's when I went. Yeah, I remember that in my grade school. Now, if you did that, you'd be sued.
What's that?
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
you can't do that anymore, right? Is that outlawed?
Well, I remember like if they caught you with gum in the lunchroom, they made you go stand on the stage because we in the gym, and then you had to put the gum on your nose. You had to stand for the rest of lunch.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that.
These were hardcore schools.
We were in California, man. They were way more laid back.
No.
It was a simpler time.
Show up on Saturday and hang out with your other bad friends and clean up the mess in the schoolyard.
Oh, I never had that. You did that?
Yes.
That was too good.
The bad girl.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to get my son to go to bed. Hold on.
Okie doke.
Okay. Sweet,
Let's
we
talk more about
can actually talk now. Awesome.
Let's talk about Lance.
Yeah, really. That guy hogs all the conversations. Oh, he's still there. Wait a minute.
Oh.
So we got a
this week.
Do what?
Anyone play anything new this week?
On Saturday, I played Mush Mush, Snow Tales 2, or whatever. That was really fun.
Mush mush.
Mush Mush, Mush Mush. Yeah, that one. That's what I played. We had like 7 people, and I hadn't played that one before, so it was fun. It was brutal. Lots of crashing, but lots of fun.
I like that one a lot.
I like
I
the first
actually
one.
got my first game of X-Wings yesterday and managed to break every single mini.
Oh, they're hard to put together.
Oh my god, I'm just not meant for minis.
I'm hoping I'll get Armada soon. I know I pre-ordered it, so.
Should be shipping out any time.
it came out today, I think.
Yeah, it did. I got mine from Amazon. It hasn't shipped yet.
I got my allies and villains this week. I was excited to put those together. Well, put the ATST together.
Are you still playing the campaigns, Keith, or is that just a
Yeah.
collector? Yeah.
Oh, we're part of both, but we're early in the campaign. We've only played a few missions, and I'm the Empire, so I have to collect everything because that's what I do.
Are you talking about that horrible game?
Yes, we're talking about that game because you left. That way we didn't have to hear you cry and moan about it again.
It's just. I don't see why people. I don't know. It's not selling as well as they thought it was going to for how they wanted it to. I guess.
Oh, even though it's their hottest selling game ever, they said.
Hooky?
Well,
It must be horrible to have your hottest selling game ever.
well, that's not their hottest selling game ever. Their hottest selling game ever has been and is X-Wing. So that's their thing.
Depends. Oh, that's not what Anton said the other day. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, well, then that's news to me because I mean the people I've talked to or whatever. Yeah, the people I've talked to. I'm so connected. No, I've just heard that like it's selling really well for them, but it's probably it's not doing what they thought it was doing.
Lance, I never thought I'd say this, but you're kind of hard to hear right now. So I don't know.
No idea what's going on with my stupid thing.
Okay.
Usually you're hard to listen to. Now you're just hard to hear.
Yeah. Which makes it easier to listen to.
Yeah, if you just want to drop out and come back next week, I think that'll work great.
No, go ahead, talk. Jerks.
That reminds me of a story. I was in North Dakota, and
If there's a wood chipper involved, I don't want to hear it.
Mary, be quiet.
Sorry. So we got a Geek of the Week on the show tonight. How's that going for you?
It's going all right.
Here we
All
go.
right. It's all right.
I'm awesome. Everybody look at me.
No, you're not, Marty. I'm awesome.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Like I said, ever since Geek of the Week 259.
That was their worst decision ever? Is that what you said the other day? when
I
we were
think
talking?
that's correct.
Just they pretty much let anybody be Geek of the Week after that. So.
It's true. It's true. That's okay. I'll still take it. No, it's fine. It's interesting.
Here's a question. Who started the Geek of the Week stuff?
I don't know. I have nothing to do with it.
It was a lady. She volunteered to be Geek of the Week.
So I do like Geek of the Week, but we have like 1 million users. So it's hard for me to pick a Geek of the Week. I've never taken part. It's been kind of one of this community things that kind of just grew out of nowhere. I don't know really how it started.
Was it staff picked or user picked?
No, we don't.
User picked.
Oh,
yeah, it was totally user generated, and I've never. I think. Well, I'm not even gonna actually mention it, but besides 1 week that I know of, we've never interfered with it at all. It's totally just spontaneous. So it's
I went back
fun.
I went back all the way to the first one, and it sounded like there must have been some kind of conversation, and someone was like, well, someone's got to volunteer to be the first one, and then that happened, and then it kind of just...
Hey, it's Natalie. Is she the first one?
Now you guys are stuck with me. Suckers!
No, I think it's fun. It's interesting how it goes through cycles, right? Like you get a string of designers, and then you get a string of artists, and a string of users who write reviews, or video people, or whatever.
String of nobodies.
Oh no! Come on.
Right, Lance?
I don't even know what I'm talking to right now.
Who are you picking as your successor?
I cannot share that information with you, sir.
Oh, secret.
The checks haven't cleared yet.
Well, I mean, geez, the hot button topic of Gen Con kind of died away, so there you go.
Well, I would be interested to know.
Well, there's another big topic you guys haven't talked about yet.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
5 tribes.
Fuckers.
5 tribes. Yeah.
I went and bought a 5 tribes today for the 3rd time, I'll have you know, just...
Because you wanted the Hoosier edition, that's why.
I did.
Am I living in a box? What happened with 5 tribes? Because of the slave stuff or something, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Well, that was
bullying of the cards.
when the game came out. Now they were... So, gosh, I don't even know if I want to take responsibility for this, but kind of did. Basically, we saw the controversy about the slave cards, and we wrote to Days of Wonder and said, hey, if you print a replacement deck, we'll work with you to distribute them through the Geek Store. And they said, well, sure. It was like that quick of an email. And then basically that's how it kind of came about, I guess. And we had no influence on the cards that they created, but it seems to be equally as controversial.
The replacement is equally as controversial?
I don't understand either controversy. Honestly, it's a game. So we saw that there was a controversy, and a lot of people refused to play it. And we distribute promos, right? Like we sell promos for $5, and it helps us, as a revenue thing, and it helps the company. And so we thought it would be a good idea. Wrote to them and said, sure. They agreed to it. So I don't know. I'm curious of both sides of the issue because I don't understand them, I guess.
Now, I've never played 5 tribes. Do any of you find that slavery issue a problem in the game, or is it connected to the theme?
I don't know if I'm a bad person. Well, I know that I am, but I don't know if the fact it didn't really stand out to me that the people on the cards were slaves makes me a bad person. Like, yes, there are people on the slaves. Yes, if you want to bump up something that you're doing, you can play these cards. But I mean, it could have been puppies. Like, I don't know. It didn't seem like you're not sending them to their death or anything. You're just using them to help you build or gather resources. I don't. And like Aldi said, it's a game. Like, I don't know. There's so many other worse bad themes. I think if that's what you're gonna go with, and like, how many people bought exploding kittens? Like, you can blow up kittens? I don't know. It's weird. There's cannibalism in games. There's sexism in games. Ageism, racism. I mean, it's a slippery slope, is all I'm gonna say. I feel like, oh, we're vocal and oh yeah, we did this, and so now let's get this to change and this to change and this to change. When you gotta have onus on yourself sometimes. I feel like as a gamer, like if I'm offended by something, I'm not gonna play it. I will not play Cards Against Humanity for lots of reasons. You know, and I just won't. I don't care that it exists. It deserves to exist, I guess, but I'm never going to play it, and that's how I feel more people need to be versus we need to just get rid of this because I am offended. I'll shut up now. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, it was done with a noble intent, right? Like you say, you're offended of you don't like Cards Against Humanity, you won't play it.
Right.
So we saw that and said, there's a lot of people who won't play it. We had a night. I mean, it was just me and Chet one night, like, hey, maybe we can get a replacement deck because that's what we do.
Sure.
And that's where it
now
came
a lot
from.
more people are going to play this game, and I think that's good because it's a pretty good game. Like, so that's good. They have access to this game now.
5 tries is not a good game.
It's not bad.
Lance, you're so hard, man.
It's just after like 2 or 3 plays, the game has shown you everything it's going to show you.
I think it really depends on who you play with. I've played with like people who consider themselves super serious gamers, and man, it is a crazy AP-inducing headache every time I play. So I just pop down the camels and call it a day before they know it's over. I'm like, oops, look at that, I won. But if you play it with someone who's new to games, they're like, oh, wow, look at what all this has going on. So, I mean, it just depends, I think, Lance. Do I want to play it every night of the week? I sure don't. But I think it does change based on who you're with, like most games. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your selling point, you're just describing every game.
I know, shut up.
I think it's okay that they swapped it out because they're not sacrificing anything necessary to the theme of the original. By taking this out, it doesn't matter. It could have been rubies, it could have been hammers, it could have been anything. And so
here's the problem, and I don't want to get on a soapbox or something, but here's the problem. It's like if you start listening to the vocal minority every single time, anything that you make is going to offend somebody. So at what point do we decide, well, this is something that is okay for us to side with the people that are offended by, but this over here, no, we're not going to listen to people that are offended by this. And the slippery slope thing that Rhiannon said is kind of a tired, old saying, but it does come into effect here, in my opinion. It's just, I remember when 5 Tribes came out, when it first came out, there was like a small little smidgen of people that were complaining about the slave cards, and it was just, but everybody else was like, they'd played it and they were like, this game's awesome, I love playing it, this game's, they're having tons of fun playing it. So it's just kind of like, it had to be out long enough, and then so people kind of got bored with it maybe, and like maybe its popularity waned a little bit, and now we can listen to the people that have a big problem with it. So well, I mean, I don't think it's all of a sudden a bunch of people learned about it and then decided they were offended. I think it's the exact same group of people that were offended before, but now it's just kind of like, well, the game's been out a while, and it's just maybe the popularity waned a little bit, and then so now we're going to listen to people that have a problem with it.
Out of the gate, Richard Ham did not like that in the game. It turned him off, and he took the game out. It really bothered Richard. And in the end, your Days of Wonder, you're known for family-friendly games, and you're here to make money. If you know people aren't giving you money because it's got slave cards, burn the slave cards. Put something else in.
Well, don't burn them.
Oh, sorry.
Well, Days of Wonder had an issue with Ticket to Ride too, and they changed that back.
Yeah, the yellow cards. Train
it
cards.
had
Star David.
It had the Star David on the train.
Oh.
So that was a weird one too. I mean, they probably never noticed it, and then someone pointed out, and they reprinted.
Yeah. I support their decision to do it. I mean, Days of Wonder can do what they want. Just like a designer can make whatever kind of game they want. Just like I can play whatever kind of game I want.
They should have caught that before it came out, though.
True.
They absolutely should have caught. I mean, Mark is in North America. He knows better than that. Maybe he wasn't poring over it at that point in time. I don't know, but it just really seems to me like that is something that should have been caught because it is a market, and you are going to buy these buy slaves. It's very weird. It's a weird idea that, I mean, it's historically correct, but is that the right thing to do in this for that type of game? You said it's a
family-friendly company.
Yeah.
and that's exactly what they should be aware of.
So by changing it to a different type of person, does that make it okay?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what they chose.
Yeah, I think it's a fakir or something, which is like a very religious Muslim.
He's the guy sitting on the bed of nails with the.
You seriously, you just make it gold. That's all you have to do.
Well, yeah, you could make it tools. You could make it something else. It doesn't have to be another person if that's the argument.
That was what a genie land would fit with the game, because you use them to use the genies, right?
Well, that's the whole thing. The game's got genies or slaves.
It could have been like magical items or something. I don't know.
All genies are slaves too. So
oil for the lamp. You have to buy oil for the lamp.
Ah, there we go.
I don't know. It's just one of those things too, where it's just like it's so weird that like you run into people that there are people that I know that just they want to be bothered by stuff, and I know that's a very maybe narrow-minded approach from me because I want to respect what other people think and feel, but at a certain point, it's just like turn the radio off if you don't like the song. I mean, I don't know.
Sure, and a lot of people did, Lance, and that's why we created those. I saw it. I mean, here's the thing. Maybe I'm overly sensitive to the community. Like, I feel like maybe one person's voice is louder in my head for me for some reason, and then I was just like, hey, let's maybe do this.
Well, because I mean, no offense, but I mean, you run a business where you have to listen to your community.
Sure.
Whereas I don't. I mean. The average Joe doesn't have to listen to somebody who's got a problem with whatever. They can just sit in their garage drinking Coors and believe what they want to believe, or whatever. And it's just, but when you have a company that actually their image, it depends on that. Then, because here's the thing, let's say there's like 10% of their board game audience that won't purchase Five Tribes because it has slave cards in it, which, fine. It's a very recognizable opinion and understandable attitude to have. But from their viewpoint is that the other 90% don't care, and there isn't another 10% of people that aren't going to buy the game because you took the slaves out. They're like, what? No slave cards in Five Tribes? Well, I'm not playing this game anymore. So they have everything to gain by removing it from it. It shows we recognize we made a mistake. We're changing it. We're appeasing this small group of people for like you said, a very small little tiny bit of change that you're helping to facilitate. So,
see, I feel like I don't know.
But
the game is always going to be associated with its cards, though. Like it's always going to be like, oh, Five Tribes. That game had slave cards, or like, oh, which version do you have? Like it's always going to be linked, even if they change the cards. So all these people are like, oh, I can't play it because of this. You're still going to link it to that when you do play it. You're going to probably make a point to be like, oh, this doesn't have those bad cards in it, and so if you have an issue, why bring it up? I don't know. Let's just kind of.
But random, who's going to be looked down on Days of Wonder for replacing it?
No, it's perfectly fine that they did. That's perfectly okay that they did. Like it's fine.
But okay, well, I mean, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate again here, but like you just got done saying that, like, I agree. There's a certain point that like people there's a certain point where you can't listen to every single person that says they're offended by something. And your slippery slope comment, I mean, I know you feel strongly about stuff like this, and
I have opinions, man.
Yeah, I know.
They matter.
It is something to, and we do live in a society where like the vocal minority does affect change, and that has both good and bad connotations. And I don't know. It's like the whole thing. Oh, you should be tolerant of it. Well, no, because the whole idea of being tolerant of something is meaning that you're really annoyed by it, but you're gonna tolerate it. You're gonna sit there and hold your tongue and let somebody do something that really bugs you, when you really should just let your voice be heard and come what may. So.
Right, but I mean, if I'm against slavery, I'm against all games with slavery, and there are a whole heck of a lot of games with slavery in them. Or things that are cleverly called not slaves. So I mean,
but okay, so that's
and
what
I
it
can't
is. So,
buy a game because they changed the card. Oh, now we're not slaves. Oh, that's so much better. Now I'm going to buy the game that I protested before. Oh, triumph for me! Like,
okay, you're obviously talking about Puerto Rico. So I mean, so what's the difference there then?
I would say none. I have both games.
But what I mean, but there
I'm
are.
not bothered by the fact that they're in either of them. I think that that's how they designed a game, and you can choose to not play that game if you don't like. You can be vocal and you can not agree, but to expect change because of your disagreements, I think, is a little much.
It is interesting, you know, how did Rio Grande games never feel like the pressure to?
Well, they were calling it. They were calling from the beginning, right?
Yeah, well, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe you know, whoever like okayed Five Tribes said, okay, slave cards, yeah, sure, add them in, let's do it. You know, and maybe they should have taken a step back and realized what they were doing.
Sure.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They should have. They should that.
It's also a very American perspective. Be extremely bothered and offended by slave cards, where the rest of the world is kind of just accepted it as something that has existed, unfortunately, but it's there. And I feel like, because I hear this from European people, it's horrible, it's there, it existed, and it just seems like because it's such recent history for Americans, they are extremely offended by it much quicker than the European audience. And Days of Wonder would be, you know, they're not necessarily looking at it for the North American market per se. They're a European board game publisher. Well, but you know, they're trying to sell to everybody, of course. But there's definitely, it's a much more prickly topic in the U.S. than it is in other places.
Yep.
Well said, Nikki.
Yeah. Well, and what's going to happen ultimately is that it's taking it out of the game is there's nothing bad about offering replacement cards to take something out that's offensive, and there's no possible way people are going to be like, I'm never playing a Days of Wonder game again because they had the gall to remove slaves from a game, or give me an option of removing slaves from the game. So I don't know. I mean, it's cool that it's cool, Aldi, that if you had your like little, if you started stirring the pot for them, that's pretty awesome.
It wasn't stirring the pot.
I mentioned it to Chad, and Chad wrote to them, and Asmodee had just acquired them, I think, at that point, and went through. I don't know. Weird.
It makes sense for Days of Wonder doing that.
Yeah.
Everything else about it I don't like.
Or you mean basically Asmodee org as they consume more and more of the board game world? How soon till they own everything?
Aren't they almost there?
Hasbro still dwarfs, or they're dwarfed by Hasbro.
Yeah, but Hasbro makes crap games, so.
But they make a lot of them that a lot of people buy.
Fine.
Why are they changing all the old Hasbro games? That's what I'm trying to figure out. They changed Mousetrap.
Wait a minute. What did they do to Mousetrap?
They screwed it.
What?
What? They messed it all up.
They have like big mice now. They're like this big. They look like little like miniature
Yeah,
figures.
the contraption's little bitty and junky looking. They just.
I'm offended by that. What can I do?
Don't buy it.
You can.
Scott, tell them to go back and do the original. I
They don't
can't
listen to
for this.
You can write them an angry email that they will file away and never listen to.
Scott, can you get us some Mousetrap promos?
Problem solved.
They actually did the same thing to Perfection.
What?
Like it used to be 6 pieces, and now it's 9.
What?
You know what?
They
I bet
dumbed
this is
down
all-
Perfection?
When you let the accountants be in charge of things.
Down Perfection. It's not even Perfection anymore. It's like, okay. That is that.
That's what happens when you ask the accountants
I
in
screen
charge.
shared the abomination. For
Oh
you.
my God! Is that what Mousetrap looks like? That
Let me
looks
see.
horrible.
What? No.
Click on,
Unacceptable.
Speak, Keith, so we can see your screen.
Hey,
I already did, tough guy. Holy, that's just awful.
What?
It looks so stupid.
I guarantee you it's
told you.
about money. I bet you it's the cost of printing.
Sure it is.
And the
You can
cute
save
animals.
off 10 cents here and there on the plastic parts if they
And
get a little smaller or a little thinner.
I don't know
Wow,
about you
that's
guys, but my old Mousetrap game had slaves in it too, and it was really good.
Well, now you can get plastic mice. Isn't that so
Oh.
much better?
Yeah.
and looks like plastic giraffes.
Is that only 3 players?
I don't
I
know.
think one of the mice is on the board. No,
Pig.
I'm a liar.
Is it a pig or
I
something?
don't know. Yeah, there's like 3 mice and a hippo or something. Oh, and it's Elephant and Friends line.
Hey, while you're there, pull up Perfection. I just saw that too. That's ridiculous.
It's terrible.
It is. It is 9 pieces.
Dear
Oh my
viewers,
God,
please
what?
enjoy us
$21.
squinting at our computer screens right now.
$21.
Are kids
for that.
this stupid now that they have to have the
That is absurd. Is this a travel edition? Please tell me this is a travel edition.
Eventually, Perfection, the one piece.
They're like
Turn it.
little fish and little flowers.
It's the square.
Do your children have no attention span? Buy new Perfection with 9 pieces instead of 48.
I have an old school Perfection game still that we play, so I'll have to sell it on eBay for $1 billion or something.
Oh, you can get the hard mode now, so. It was 33.65. You save 11.81.
Oh, whew.
Oh,
It was
Rolling back
33.65
prices.
because it was better.
that is absolutely ridiculous.
This
Well,
is a
whatever.
travesty.
I'm completely offended by these posts.
I am.
And look, this is a learning toy in science and education, just so you know.
They're not learning too much.
No.
Now, do you think this is a cultural thing as well? Me and Jen were talking about something similar the other day, where like in T-ball, everybody gets a trophy now. You know, and,
No.
Little League baseball,
The world
everybody
needs
gets a
losers.
trophy.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that's part of it too?
The
I can
perfection
tell you
thing?
right now, I'm the coach of my daughter's T-ball team, and not everybody gets a trophy.
Good for
But
you.
everybody does get a juice box at the end.
Well, that's okay. Juice box acceptable.
That should be after every game.
Yes.
Yep. Juice box and then after like we play 2 games a week, and it's a juice box. But on the second game we get a juice box and an ice cream sandwich. So
Oh.
yeah.
Now, if you're not there for the first game and you show up for the second game, you get that ice cream sandwich just the same.
Tough time to get excited when you get the ice cream sandwich. Oh, well, hey, I got less than an hour to back above and below. Should I do it?
I've been looking at that myself.
I've really liked his games.
I caved to peer pressure. I just did it because that's what the cool kids were doing.
I don't know. The City of Iron was such a really not good game.
Did you play the Lost World or Ancient World?
Ancient World is good. Ancient World is fun.
It was pretty.
You're pretty. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Empires of the Void I loved from Ryan, and then City of Iron I was kind of and then Ancient World it kind of climbed back into the okay, this is kind of nice, and God, I can't make up my mind whether or not I want to spend 50 bones on this right now. Somebody help me.
Did you like 8-Minute Empire Legends?
I did like that game, yeah.
I think he's got more hits than losers.
Well, definitely, but I mean, like I said, City of Iron was beautiful, but
Can someone explain to me how the storytelling part of this game works?
that's what I want to know.
Because I would be interested if it was like a compelling way to use that, but if it's just like storytelling, oh, you put a card down, I built a hole.
people don't quite understand what storytelling is, the mechanic of it. I was
believe
watching a
Rado-
tabletop deathmatch, and the guy had a storytelling game, and it was basically as you played the cards, you were supposed to tell a story, but it had no impact on the game.
Oh.
And
I
it's
believe
like that
Rado
on
did a
storytelling.
video on it.
So I would think like Baron Munchausen, like that's a storytelling game.
Or Once Upon a Time or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. It's like one of these things where, like, it looks like you're reading off. Like, if you look at down the bottom, they give examples of the writing, and it looks like you get to. It looks almost choose your own adventure-ish, and it might be kind of using the Arabian Nights type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Does that actually affect the game?
Yeah, so it's like you reach the entrance of a great temple carved in the cave walls, massive stairs lead up towards a square platform, blah, 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 blah. It's like your first impulse is to break open the lock in the cage and set the woman free, but you wonder why the Glogos would have left her here normally when they would have killed her. Do you set her free or keep exploring? You know, and it says set the woman free, read paragraph 101, ignore her pleas and explore the temple, you know, and then you get something else.
Yeah, let's choose your own adventure. That sounds
like Crossroads.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It's just been whenever you have a thing where it's like you're reading stuff off like that, eventually you run out of stuff. You know, it's like, oh, okay, it's the woman in the cage. Yeah, I don't let her go. Give me that stuff. Okay.
And the worst part is if you're stuck with someone who's not a great reader, and they're like Ben Stein, and they're like, and so you escape from the tunnel. Yay for you. And you're just like, oh, this is the worst.
Just so you know, there's a bit of that in Seafall when it comes. Which a lot of people look forward to.
Oh, I can't make up my mind.
Oh, just do it. You can sell it if you don't like it.
Or just don't do it and beg for it later. I mean...
Isn't that your MO? Wait, what?
Why do I
I love you, Lance.
Have the designer on at a later date. So
Here's the thing that I'm stunned by is that Myth, their next Kickstarter after the incredible crazy screw up that was the first one with the rules, which is still a fun game, and once they got the second edition rules, I still play it and have fun with it. I mean, the fact that just on the strength of how awesome their miniatures look, I mean, they've got another $500,000 or whatever, you know, with their latest Kickstarter, with like 4 days to go. So that's pretty amazing, in my opinion.
It's FOMO.
We're playing it.
It's FOMO? What do you mean it's FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
They're missing out.
Nice.
Oh.
Fear of missing out. Yeah. I mean, right? I mean,
I learned a new acronym.
Yeah, I did too.
You guys like FOMO? All right.
And
it's what
I didn't.
is.
I didn't even have to go to Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. I think that's probably a lot of it. They also released the second edition rulebook, and they're releasing fixed cards here, so maybe that's helping.
Yeah.
If I buy your new game, I can play my first one I bought. Yay.
Yeah. The first one was FUBAR. The second, now it's all FOMO.
I know what the first acronym means. What does the second one mean again?
FUBAR?
No, I know what that one means.
Oh.
FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Oh, fear of missing out. I thought you guys said you are missing out before. I'm like, that's not how I'm hearing this at all. But okay, I'm there now.
Yeah, 2,000 backers of $120 or more. Just to
How many backers did the first one? The first one got like $1 million, right?
Like 1.6 or something like that. Yeah.
So it's impressive.
When is Board Game Geek going to do another Kickstarter?
It's hard, man.
Nice laugh, Nikki.
The first one first. Or the first two, really.
Hey, I think Zombies is a fun game.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I hope people like it. I think it's fun.
Plus, how
You have to have a light heart. You have to have some whimsy and light-heartedness, I think.
Well, you definitely have to, like, you can't take yourself. Well, that's one of those games where you can't take yourself seriously, or you can't take the game itself very seriously. I really dislike lighthearted games where people try to game the game. You know, it's like, well, I know that you would pick that because of this, and you know, just shut up and make your choice.
I feel like that about all games, actually. So.
Hey Barry, shut up.
I said 4 sentences is one. Go on.
All right, everybody, give Barry the floor. Ask a question to the group, Barry.
Oh, jeez, I don't know. Did a whole group?
You have a weekly podcast. Ask a question.
Yeah, it's a little different. I'm talking to my wife, and she usually runs it, but like everything else in my life. But
Get her to jot down something and pass it to you on a Post-it note.
Yeah, she's sleeping. She's got to get up at 4 a.m. Now, Zach, how many Kickstarters did you do? Is this your first one? Or?
It's the first one, yeah.
Is it more work than you were expecting?
No, it's going slowly, but you know what? It is what it is. It's been a great experience putting it together. I mean, everything's been a first for me on this. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
I have a bad listener. What is your Kickstarter again?
Oh, Main Event, a card game battle royale.
Main Event.
Main Event.
If I buy another Kickstarter game during the weekly Alaboom, I'm going to be irritated.
Did you just back above and below, or is that what you're saying?
No, I did that earlier.
Oh, if anybody, well, first of all, if you got $12, go and no, it's 20. I'm sorry, is it $12 to get in, or it's 29 for the game, right? I'm sorry, $12 is to get the original handmade card.
Yeah, I like I said, this was my first time doing it. I originally thought I'd be able to print out all the cards and hand make them and glue fronts to backs. No. It did not go well. But yeah, so I still have the original set, and I'm just kind of, I guess, auctioning those off. And
that's cool. No, but if you're a wrestling fan and you just want something to play over your lunch hour, I would strongly suggest putting your $29 down. It's like Zach said, it's lighthearted and very. It doesn't take itself seriously, but it's that perfect game when you have a sandwich in one hand and you're playing at the lunch table, which is exactly where I've played it the last 3 or 4 times.
That's what we've been doing at work. Yeah, it's just a programmable deck builder.
It was a deck builder that I didn't hate, which is a lot for me because I am not a deck builder fan.
Now, why did you decide to go Kickstarter instead of pitching it to a traditional publisher and all that?
Because I didn't know any traditional publishers.
It's a good reason.
That's an honest answer.
Good reason.
I mean, that's what Kickstarter's there to be. So.
Yeah, I was just curious if there was a specific reason why you went one way instead of the other.
Talk to Queen. They talked to themselves and they told themselves to go to Kickstarter for all their stuff.
Yeah. And I feel bad. I look at all these Kickstarters and there's great games on there, but then it looks like they're only going to do 100 copies, and then you'll never see the game again.
What was that game?
Magnum Opus.
Magnum Opus, yeah.
Anybody heard of Magnum Opus?
Yeah, I have a copy right over there, I think.
Right there.
I can see it. Okay. Yeah.
One of our friends really loves it, and it's like his top 5 all time now. And I was like, "What? Never heard of it."
Yeah, and then it's
Scott did back it, though.
Yeah,
I did back it, but I forgot. Come on, 1,000 projects. Can't remember.
I know. It's just funny.
I know.
Hey, man, did Magnum Opus not go out to retail?
I have not seen it in any of the stores. Well, you know what? It's a Game Salute game. You're not going to see it online.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, every once in a while, Magnum Opus stuff will show up. It will show up in Amazon every once in a while. Well, no, like Game Salute stuff will show up in Amazon.
Yeah. Right. They might put some of their stock into Amazon's fulfillment system. But it was kind of surprising. I mean, I think we're in that era where if it's like, I won't say if it's a mediocre game, but if it's a mediocre to good game and not a great game, you'll never see it. I think that's the case these days.
Yeah.
So that's that FOMO thing you were talking about then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
big
Zach just mentioned it. It's like there's so many games that are only going to print like maybe 500 to 1,000 copies, and then that's it, right? And then they move on.
A handful of people get to buy them, they rave about them, and then that's it.
Lincoln, what did Uli Blenneman say?
About how he handles the stuff?
Oh yeah.
He doesn't want stock. He wants to get the game out into the world, and then as soon as it sells, it's sold out. He just hopes that somebody picks it up and licenses it. Thankfully that's what happened with Lagranja with Stronghold, because it was hotly people really wanted it, and it was sold out, I believe, before it even was shipped, because he only produces about 1,000 copies, if that.
And that's, I think, a good way to go about it if you're a small publisher or independent, because it costs you money to store games. Yeah. So if you get, you're buying a locker somewhere or whatever, self-storage. So if you can get that published, like Kickstarter, or do a small run like Uli Blenneman does, and then get it seen, get people talking about it, he waits for the publishers to approach him and try to license it from them, and then at that point they're just handing him money and he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah. Although I think his new one,
Cash and Guns, they went into a second print, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was still, I think, that was repos, both versions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
It is, and but Uli's new game, Kraftwagen, the Matthias Kramer, that one is published by somebody else, and I mean he's developing it, but a German company, ADG Blackfire or something like that's doing it. So that one's probably going to be a completely different model, because I think it's got a lower price point and will likely be more available. Hopefully.
Yeah, looking forward to that game.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Yeah. Well, Matthias Kramer is exciting, so.
Right, yeah.
He's the most underrated designer ever. Matthias Kramer.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Come on.
You're just a grump.
I'm not a grump. I'm just honest. I just backed above and below. Fine.
Hold the pressure.
Take my money. No, well, the thing about that though is like probably the best game that Spielworks has made is Arkwright, without a doubt, for me, and that's, well, maybe Schiffart's better, but either of those, nobody's gonna pick those up because they're hardcore heavy Euros, and nobody wants to ever publish a hardcore heavy Euro.
But those wouldn't have been published if he hadn't done it anyway. That's what's great about it. At least he got it out there, and Schifart did do a Kickstarter. Arkwright did not, and that was expensive too. That was pretty steep, I believe. It was like 70.
I mean, just to pick up the box.
Yeah,
it's a heavy box.
Yeah. Heavy in both ways.
Arkwright is absolutely amazing. I think Fun Again still has it in stock, if not. But I mean, that game will never get reprinted again. So if you're looking for a hardcore heavy Euro, I can't recommend Arkwright enough. So.
Well, I basically buy everything he puts out. Regardless, just because he definitely puts something into them all. But I don't think, what was the one that
the Elizabeth or
no.
older ones?
The one that Harold Leesky did, Agora, that one didn't do well.
No, and I think he did a lot of copies of that one.
Well, but a good chunk.
More than his normal, I think.
Which is too bad.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Cole and Colony?
I haven't played that one.
Oh, okay. No, that's the second one of his Cole trilogy or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah, I own it. I just never played it yet. It hasn't been on game night, so it hasn't been played.
Yeah. Can Puppets play it?
I don't know. There's too many pieces, right? That would be rough. We have to make new puppets for that one.
Sticks.
Just get little hard hats for them. You'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go.
I think you should just use your normal hands. Just pop them up over the top of the table and just move the pieces.
One of the hands is stuck inside the head, though. It'd be one hand.
This is a creepy glove.
That was one of the weird things I actually saw, like how they would do like Muppets, and how they actually have like 2 or 3 different puppeteers doing the whole thing. Oh man, that's so crazy to watch that. They really are artists.
Considering how difficult it was just to do basically, it's like a high-end sock puppet. I mean, it's hard.
High-end sock puppet.
That's what it is.
Did he put the tennis balls in there?
They're not tennis balls, but they're like little half rubber balls, so that you have something to grab on and stuff.
It's
a little easier.
He's been lobotomized.
Well, you can close the mouth easier with that. You don't have to close your hand as tight, so it's neat. Turned out well.
Hey, while you guys are talking about that, somebody asked on the chat, hey, Lincoln and Nikki, is there any chance you guys will ever go to a weekly release schedule on game night? Really love watching you guys.
There's always that chance, but it won't be for a while, because it's a lot of work. I need to be not doing a daytime job to do that, because it's tremendous. It's way more...
Let's kickstart it.
Kickstart me to work and doing that only.
Yeah. The editing part is
editing
time consuming.
It can be rough depending on the games, but 2 weeks is a lot. We end up doing more than 26 episodes every year anyway, and the SDJ specials that we do are, there's up to 9 games, new episodes for that. So we haven't done any others. This last season we didn't do any special episodes. We basically just kept to the schedule, and then just did that big burst of stuff for SDJs.
Yeah.
How many hours a week do you think you spend editing?
It depends. I was saying on the DFW Nerd Nighters, we could be up to like 3-4 hours to several days of editing, depending on how complicated the play is and
the interaction.
If we have to trim out a lot of dead time, because if it's a very long, I don't worry about dead time if it's not long, but if it's 3 hours, we're not going to put out a 3-hour episode. So we'll try to clean up as much thinking time, but there's not a ton of those. Occasionally we run into that, but thankfully most are. Wait till you see Headbands. Headbands is an hour for a game about, like, what am I? That's all we're trying to get. We're so terrible, believe me. It's pretty hilarious.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, when I suggested Lincoln to do this kind of show because I watch a lot of those video game playthroughs. I don't know if you guys do that, but I do.
Yeah, my son does.
I was like, we should do a board game thing, just kind of offhanded suggestion. And Lincoln pretty much just ran with it, and I said, "Oh, they never do any editing, so you'll be fine. You'll just be able, just record the game and just put it up on the interweb." And no, Lincoln takes a very careful hand of editing, and the camera switching is all editing and
after the fact. Yeah.
My favorite part is trying to see what Lego's being built in the background sometimes.
You're the first person that's ever mentioned that.
Well, they mentioned it on the BGG, I think.
Once?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We've got but we're talking about right now we have the
what is that one called?
My brain is I know it's the Blockade Runner, but it's the other name.
Tantive 4.
Yeah, Tantive 4.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, but we've got
we got some cool stuff we need to find time to
build. Yeah.
Yeah, my 3-foot starter story took a long time.
Oh my.
Lincoln and I are going to take apart the Millennium Falcon next time he's in town, and then put it back together. Right?
Yes.
I've thought about doing that a few times. I just didn't have the heart to do it.
It's
Yeah, I know. It's just up. It's towering over him.
It's a monster.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I don't have that one.
Yeah. He tried to get me to buy it, and I was like, "Oh, there's no way." And now I just said,
"You regret it."
Well, the weird thing about those things is that everything's so damn collectible now. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. It's eventually you can't get any
Except
more. and
comic
somebody's
books, right?
Yeah. I still have tons of those.
Yeah. Well, comic books really aren't collectible anymore.
Well, no, because the print runs are too long, and well, when the whole weird 90s, late 80s comic books where everything was a foil cover or a special edition or something like that, but they made so many of them that nothing is like collectible anymore as far as that goes. So
they killed it.
Yeah, they did.
I went out and bought like 2 copies of the issue where Superman died, only to realize they printed like millions of them. It's not worth anything.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I remember people lined up outside Lantern Comics in Fargo, North Dakota, waiting to buy it, and people were buying like 100 copies. And I was like, you do realize that they have like this little tiny store in Fargo, North Dakota, has 1,000 copies of it. You can just imagine how many more are nationwide.
Anybody watch that Comic Book Men
I do.
show?
I watched it for a little while, but then, like a lot of reality TV, it just annoys me.
Fizzles out, yeah.
I wish they did a lot more of the pricing and the rarities and the negotiation part. I don't like all the fluff, but they got to fill the time. So.
Yeah.
But it's fun to watch the old comics and the old toys come in.
I actually went to watch them at a panel at New York Comic Con last year that was hosted by Kevin Smith, and he gave a little bit behind-the-scenes stuff, and everything they do is improv. So
I don't believe it. I don't believe that at all.
Allegedly, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, that's all he says. Either you're calling Kevin Smith a liar, or he's telling the truth. So you're calling him a liar.
I am.
Anyway, he said most of it's off the cuff. He said when somebody brings in stuff, they know it's getting ready to come in. But he says as far as the banter, he said none of that's scripted. So.
Well, here let me say this. I've met him, and like right around the whole thing when he was doing that Too Fat for 40 thing, where he said that they told him he had to purchase 2 airplane tickets, whatever, because he was too big to fit in a seat in an airplane. And I'm assuming he flew first class. I don't know for sure.
No, he was on Southwest. There is no first class.
Well, whatever. But I'm bigger than he is, and I've never been asked that ever in my life. So I mean, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but I fly a fair amount, and I'm a bigger dude than he is, and he's slimmed down since then, and I'm still bigger than his, and I've never been told I need to buy 2 tickets. So, man,
I think he was
Did buy
live.
2 tickets, right?
Twitter.
well, yeah, they told him he couldn't fly unless he bought 2 tickets because he was too big. If I'm remembering correctly, somebody can probably, or somebody will correct me at some point and tell me I'm an idiot, but which is fine. And I'd love to be called out on my bullshit because then I learn. But I mean, it's just like, so I'm not saying that he is in the habit of being false or lying all the time, but reality shows, man, they're all there's no reality anymore to those. I mean, it's all scripted. It's all like the whole the Pawn Shop show, which I can still watch just for it's pretty
fully scripted.
Oh yeah, no, they go next door. The gun store guy that comes over to look at the stuff, like my brother lives in Vegas. They go next door and ask him, "Have you gotten any new guns that we can pretend?" And then they go out and they find people in the crowd to pretend that they found it in their garage or whatever, and they're trying to sell it. And they tell them what they're supposed to say. I mean, it's off the cuff. I mean, they say you're going to ask $3,000 for this. We're going to offer you 2. You're going to agree on $2,400. Okay, fine. But then they come in and they do the banter and they talk back and forth and they kind of and they do several takes until it's something that they can work with and then they go from there. I'll fully admit that I enjoy the show because I like seeing the stuff. It's like
That's what I like about Comic Book Men.
Yeah, it's like that Storage Wars show. I know it's fake. I know they set up those damn places or whatever.
What?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Next year, say wrestling is fake. Oh wait.
Yeah, we've already been there. But what's that other thing? The American Pictures show. Yeah, well, we freestyled around in Virginia and we found this guy who had all these old motorcycles. No, you didn't. Just. But still, it's kind of cool just to see the stuff they find.
I feel like my life is a lie. Antique Roadshow taught me that people are wholesome and true, and these things are just staging everything. It makes me sad.
Yeah. I don't know. See, that's what, at least now, like, we've gone away from the whole reality TV. Like 5 years ago, you couldn't turn on TV without everything being reality TV.
It's still all reality.
I said, I don't know about that.
Well, no, because it's a lot better than it was 5 years ago. I mean, you have those shows like I don't know, those stinging shows. Those are dying off, thankfully, and even because there used to be like 27 of them on TV. Now there's only like the 2 or 3. And I don't know. I mean, so I know I sound like a grump.
You are a grump.
Reality TV, like what we're trying to do here.
This is all scripted.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta turn my page.
You can't make this up.
No, but I mean, no. It's just I mean, now there's actually like 2 or 3 shows on real TV that actually I enjoy watching that are like that are just a TV show like The Blacklist or The Following. I watch those because I'm entertained by them. They make me want to be interested in the next episode. And I know they're complete fluff, and I can probably whatever. I mean, my wife is addicted to the Doctor Show, whatever that one is. I don't know. I always walk in. There's always doctors talking to each other, and everybody's having sex with each other too. It just seems
General
like
Hospital.
No, yeah.
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. There you go. Thank you.
Who said that? Who said that?
Zach.
Oh, Zach.
I love Grey's Anatomy because they always have some episode, and I know I've said this before, they always have one thing where I pop in where some doctor is just yelling at a patient. Like, just screaming them out. It's like, you need to so-and-so, and whatever, and you need to treat your daughter better, or whatever, just yelling. And they're always like, thank you for the life lesson, doctor. I've totally turned my life around now because of what you said. No, like, right after that conversation is done, they would be like, who is your supervisor? I'd like to go talk to them. But
I think we had this conversation last week.
Yeah, we did. And
I think we talked about
I will be angry at Grey's Anatomy forever until that show is off the air. So.
Is anybody watching Better Call Saul?
Yes.
That is excellent.
What show is that?
Better Call Saul.
Better
Call Saul.
It's
a spin-off from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
it's a spin-off, but it's a prequel. Yeah.
Spin-off prequel. Yeah, there you go. Pretty good. And Breaking Bad was probably right up there with one of the best shows that was ever on television. So.
Agree.
Yep.
We're gonna go. We gotta go eat some food.
What are you gonna eat?
What are we gonna eat?
Yeah.
Probably salad.
That sounds so exciting.
Oh, it's really good.
What are you gonna eat? Probably salad. Can you sing the sad Charlie Brown song when you walk away?
That's right.
Well, hey, Lincoln, hey, thanks a lot. Like last year at Gen Con, you took some time out of your day to give me some video tips and ideas or whatever, and you kind of showed me a lot. So I've always thought of that as you're a pretty awesome dude. So now that I've got you on there, I can actually say thank you, and what you do with the game night stuff is awesome, both you and Nikki. So.
Thanks.
Yeah, and thanks for coming on and being on the thing here.
Absolutely, this is fun, guys. You take care.
Anytime you want to be on, either of you, just let us know.
Okay.
Take care.
Bring the puppet.
Yeah, bring the puppets.
Yeah.
Now you're going to start begging them for puppets.
We should have an all-puppet episode of Alaboom. Everybody needs a puppet.
Right, and that could be fun.
That'd
Take
be
care,
awesome.
guys.
Take care.
Good night. Enjoy your salad.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Very creamy dressings.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, does anybody remember the old Saturday Night Live fake commercial for, I forget what it was called, but it was like the new the new snack craze, and it was like it was just like a cup of lettuce and mayonnaise, and you shook it up, and people were eating it.
Oh, shakers or something.
Shakers or something like that.
Shakers.
Yeah, just like
I still like Taco Town. Taco Town's my favorite.
Yeah.
If you've not seen the Taco Town commercial.
Well, they had so many great fake commercials. I mean, but Super Happy Fun Ball.
Do not taunt.
Do not taunt Super Happy Fun. Super Happy Fun Ball is being delivered to our forces in Iraq and also being dropped on our enemies in Iraq. Good stuff. Anybody else got any talkers? Anything that's on their mind?
I'm gonna go to bed. How's that?
Well, is the nurse in the or?
I mean, okay. I mean, it's all scripted, right? I mean, you don't have to keep using that same page every single week.
We need to hire better writers.
Yeah.
Our writers are horrible.
No, it's just you have to recycle that stuff. It's just put it back. It's
that
it's
much
a
less
go-to.
funny the next time.
Hey, this is for like the boomers here, but are you guys available for? Are you guys gonna boom quest then Friday night?
Yeah.
All right, we good to go? Keith, you gonna be
Minx
there?
is ready.
Yeah. Minx is pregnant.
Yeah, I've already explained to you that cannot happen. The gnome-human relationship does not produce offspring, so I'm fine.
Didn't the GM decide that?
Yeah, I rolled a critical hit for.
I doubt that. I doubt that. At 24, what was it? It wasn't 24. 24 got me into that thing, so I'm fine. I'm fine. I would have gotten in there knowing what I was doing with a natural 20. Thank you very much.
For those of you who are not, I run a Pathfinder campaign that we do, and then we do Google Hangout for it, and of course Rhiannon, after having a few, decided she was going to seduce their employer, and then I was like,
we needed valuable intel. Thank you, and I got it. Okay.
I was like, all right,
And I
was
saved
like, all
somebody on
right.
their room cost. I'm pretty sure too. So.
Are you guys recording this?
Yeah.
Is this all public videos and
Yeah. If you look at my stream, just find the Boom Quest. There's only 2 of them so far, but
man, awesome.
Yeah, but she just said, and I was like, okay, you got no shot, because like Merrick's a fine, upstanding gentleman, he wasn't going to have it, but she rolled a 20, so
boom.
Off they went.
It's my charm.
It's something.
It's the leopard shawl I have. It's my leopard snuggie.
Yeah.
Which is in the other room again.
Honestly, when you put that on, I thought you put on a Princess Leia costume. The buds and the white.
No. That's not for Wednesday nights.
No.
What was I going to ask? So, I was actually going to mention, because the whole Gen Con thing, Aldi, with BGG Con, I mean, do you guys have a long time, contract with the area that you do BGG Con then?
Yeah. It was... I mean, you negotiate and you get more stuff if you sign more years. So that's kind of where we went.
Is it secret knowledge? I mean, how many years are you locked into your place?
We're locked in.
Right
I mean, if you say, locked in until 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the area that you have it?
We do. I think the price point is very affordable comparatively to other conventions. Like, I mean, the Gen Con hotels boggle my mind that people can drop 200 a night, 250 plus a night.
At least.
That's like 5 people per room.
Yeah. Your rooms are cheaper than Origins. So.
Yeah, we have a 118 a night. If I'm, hopefully that's right. I think it's 118.
Yeah.
118 unless you get the suite, which is 158, which is still cheap.
I think I found a 177. It was not bad.
You're going to BGG Con or Gen Con?
Oh, I thought we were talking about Gen Con.
Well, no, either. I mean,
177. 177 is not too bad, but it's still pretty decent. Anyway, the hotel is awesome. You'll see it this fall. It's got a 20,000 square foot ballroom, And for people who have been there last year,
Are we going dancing?
Are we going dancing?
No, because there's tables in the way.
Oh,
Yeah. You can dance on stage though if you want, and people can clap or something. We're pulling the vendors back out of that ballroom again this year, kind of rejiggering it the way it was before.
do you get a lot of vendors for BGGCon?
We do. I think we had about 100 last year.
Wow.
I mean,
That's crazy.
I think we rival Gen Con's vendor quality. It's basically just the board game people from Gen Con come to BGGCon.
Well, I was going to say that you got a captive audience, so I mean, you know, why wouldn't you be there?
And you can talk to the vendors.
Yeah, it's not as crazy as Gen Con. You know, and there's not that giant T-shirt thing in the middle. That T-shirt thing.
The T-shirt tower.
There's Gen Con is awesome. There's nothing like it. I don't want to pick on Gen Con, but we got good vendors. We've got all the board game companies coming to BGG.
Yeah. No utility kilts, no bustier booths. You know.
Yeah, it's missing the flavor.
Does Game Salute go to BGGCon?
They did.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been a Ultimate Geek sponsor.
What does that mean?
They give us a lot of stuff to give away. We have pretty good giveaways and stuff. If you want to be an Ultimate Geek, you have to give us about I think $50,000 worth of MSRP product.
Jeez.
Which we basically just turn around and give out. You know, you're not going to get like the best of the best. We had a lot of. I think we had the most variety last year of any year. But you know, Queen Games is an Ultimate Geek sponsor. Game Salute has been. I don't know if they were last year. I can't remember. Stronghold Games did it last year. You know, those guys are very generous. All the publishers are super generous with BGG. But yes, I do like the area. I think the hotels. The only issue is, and it's not. I mean, if you have a car, great. We're in the airport. It's inside the airport's grounds, I guess, or the security. Not security. Sorry, beyond the toll booth for the airport. So it's a little tricky to get in and out of there, but it can be. You know, we have a shuttle service that Rio Grande sponsors, and you can go to all the different restaurants around the area.
I missed that last year because that was my only struggle was finding variety in dining.
That's the biggest complaint we have.
But the rest of it, I think, offsets it overall.
You know, we try to make it as fun as we can make it. Like that was the model. It was just a big, fun board game party with a lot of games to choose from and a lot of free stuff. And I mean, the free stuff is obviously not always guaranteed because it's dependent on publishers. But this is the 11th year, so hopefully it'll keep continuing.
How many people did you have go to the first year?
220.
Like 220,000?
220 people. 220.
220, and then how many people go now?
It's 2,400 is the limit. Last year was 2,500, but we're knocking it back about 100.
Would you want to get any bigger?
It was a little too crowded.
You're
100 people
sold
is like
out.
40 tables. It's going to sell out either tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm probably just going to stay up and wait, and then just cut it off in the middle of the night. Yeah, it's gone fast this year. It's exciting, but also I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed. So I should mention we are having a second convention on Memorial Day weekend. It's BGGCon Spring or BGGCon Fam. You decide what you want to call it. It's BGGCon exactly the same except the age restrictions lifted. It's the only difference.
Mm-hmm. Is it held in the same place?
Yeah, it's in the same space.
Yep. So why isn't people going? Well, I suppose because it's not the classic or whatever.
We're just starting it, you know. It's a new thing. Gotta learn people the new thing.
I like that there's going to be a family-centric thing, but that's not. I like that there's going to be a family-centric thing, but like
it's not like. I mean, it's not. I think calling it BGG
friendly, I guess.
It's family friendly. Yeah, it's not. I mean, here's the thing. BGG Con is 12 and up.
Right.
That's the age restriction.
Oh.
But I would probably hazard a guess that there are probably maybe 5 people between the ages of 12 and 18 that come to VGGCon.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 at most. But this is no age restriction. So basically, obviously you're not bringing 2-year-olds there because it's probably 4 to 5. Is
Be
probably lowest.
careful.
But we don't have any managed childcare. You still have to.
Oh, I was just going to use the bag check outside the library.
Yes.
No, you just set them up with a copy of Mousetrap. Leave them there for a while.
Are you going to have the new Mousetrap in the library this year?
Oh my gosh, I should have ordered that actually when I saw it. Yeah.
I'm totally playing that 3 a.m. with Scott.
Now, do the other conventions have age restrictions, like Origins and Gen Con and all them?
Nope.
No.
That's why I like BGG. I've discovered.
Nope, Gen Con's full of strollers clogging the aisles in the
the worst.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh yes, and not only that, you get people in the hallways without even having a badge that are locals that just come in and dress their kids up because they think it's trick or treat.
There you go with your little diatribe against people with badges and against the people from wandering.
Against the people that actually paid to clog the vendor hall. Yes, I know.
Is it free? Is it free for kids? Do they charge for kids?
At a certain level, below a certain level, I think they're free. And then Sunday is for $30 you can get like a family of 4 into Gen Con.
Oh right, it's the family day.
Yeah, that's family day.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and Sunday's when I'm ready to head home.
Yeah, I always try to leave at the very latest. I leave like at noon on Sunday. I get out of there. It's just
I go in, I get cool stuff's clearance stuff if I want anything, and then I get out.
Yeah, I'm still hoping to get our hotel relocated because I don't know how we're going to deal with a 30-minute drive each day.
How far away are you? Are you on the north side?
It's on the north side, yes. It's like, I looked it on Google Maps, said 25 minutes at best case, right? So that's too long.
I booked one out of the block that's not part of Gen Con's block for $178 a night. It's about a 15-minute shot straight into the convention center, and I got a suite for that price. So
nice. Is it a 15-minute walk or drive?
It's a drive, but I live in Indiana, so I'm driving to Indianapolis, so it's no big deal for me. Okay. I could commute to Gen Con, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this before, but when I was on it for the exhibitor registration, and I pushed the button, and I didn't try to book 6 rooms, I just tried to book 2, because Lincoln and I need the rooms the closest. That's the most important. And not saying we're more important, but we have all the gear, right? So it came up 0 downtown. Like, I was on it the instantaneous it went live, and it came up 0. So they did not have a downtown block.
Did you put Tuesday into your block when you first tried to do it, or did you start with Wednesday?
I started with Tuesday, and then I started shuffling it all around to try to get anything.
One thing I found out with their new system, if you try to do Tuesday, it would show you no availability because they're not in the block, and then you have to go back and request them. It's just
idiotic. But for exhibitors,
I don't trust them.
I'll complain because I know how to do hotel blocks, but exhibitors have to come early and stay late. Mm-hmm. So you have your block extend over. It's called I forget the name of it, but it's a term.
They have the shoulder nights or whatever.
Yeah. That's it.
But the system they switched to.
Hopefully between now and then we get relocated because I'm not looking forward to it.
I hope you do.
Is there any truth to the? Well, who knows? But everybody's always said the scuttlebutt or the rumor, if you will, was that like the big ones, like the people like
I'm sure
Fantasy Flights and what have you. They go ahead.
I can't imagine them not getting taken care of. Right? Maybe once those guys they put their people in their blocks and then. But I have a feeling they're not going to give away the rooms. They're going to use them, right? Because it's so in demand. I doubt there will be any free rooms. I'm friend of a friend of a friend at Fantasy Flight can get a room, right? Like, that's kind of how sometimes these things go.
Vance, I remember Joel saying a couple years ago that he booked his a couple years in advance, or a year in advance. Can you still do that, or is it all run through their lottery system?
You can get them, but they're really expensive.
Yeah,
about $350 a night.
Exactly. I can spend $10,000 and get 6 rooms, but I'm not going to do that. That's ridiculous.
You should have rented the villa, Scott. We found a nice villa for rent. You could fit like 30 people in it. Oh yeah, it's walking distance. We actually priced it out, but it was going to be more than a typical hotel room a night for people.
Well, people that were coming with families, it wasn't a good deal. For those of us who were going by ourselves, it was
the single folks, it was it's like a whole compound. It was awesome.
Yeah, my wife was all for that idea. She thought that was gonna be awesome, and then when we kind of poo-pooed it, that was when she was kind of annoyed. But yeah, whatever. You people and your weirdos that couldn't handle the idea of being. You know what? That's fine. I mean, it was just like it just going to Gen Con. You try to get there as cheaply as you possibly can. So I get being annoyed with it, but I don't know. The compound would have been awesome.
We've gotten put in that JW Marriott 2 years ago, and that was expensive. But we had no control over it, right? It was the only thing that was showing up. But at least I could book that through the exhibitor block. This year, and last year we got into the JW Marriott, but I requested a move to the Hyatt because I work with Hyatt, and it came through. So, but this year, nothing. Anyway, can move on. I don't want to be the complainer.
Oh, that's all right. We're all happy to complain.
I can keep going. No.
As sad as it is with this garbage coming out of my state government right now, I'm keeping an eye on the Gen Con website every day to see if somebody cancels a hotel reservation. I'll snag it, get closer if I can.
Well, that was just it. I mean, what Joel, Eddie, and I would do is we thought we were clever. Was we would like as we were checking out, we would just rebook our hotel, and we'd kind of haggle with them. We're like, look, we're willing to get another room for a week. Here at this thing. It's like just give us the same deal, and they usually would, and then they just all of a sudden they were just like, no, we can't do it anymore. It's just, why? I don't know. There's things change. Gen Con's bigger than it ever has been, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be even bigger this year.
I mean, if you go look at their growth curve,
it's stupid.
It's insane. It's on. I think I looked it up on Wikipedia, but it's crazy.
Do you ever think they'll do a cutoff on tickets? I mean, will they let it get so big? No.
They'll just let the people will want to go, and so whoever wants to go will go.
It'll figure itself out, right?
Yeah.
It'll eventually stop. People will eventually stop putting up with the overcrowding. So it'll naturally.
Well, I never been there. How big is the convention center? Because I'm sure there's like fire codes and all that. How many people could be in there at once?
It can hold quite a bit, but I'm not sure of that.
100,000 people.
Wow.
I mean, it's ginormous. And they, I didn't realize this, but they had negotiated an extension onto the convention center itself as part of the deal, Lance.
Yeah, that new exhibit hall that they use was built for Gen Con.
Right.
And they keep expanding it every year.
So they may not be able to get out of a deal without being liable for the cost of that extension, right? Like that's kind of some of the way these things go with the contracts and stuff. I mean, this is pure speculation, but if you sign a 5-year deal, they say, oh yeah, we'll build another 50,000 square feet or 100,000 square feet for you, then that's part of the contract usually.
Oh yeah, I'm sure if they try to break it, they're going to pay for it.
And if you break it, you're being like, "That we did it because you were going to say you're going to come. So if you don't come, we're left holding the,
It's possible.
So, pure speculation. Everybody don't know for sure.
Here.
So my first Gen Con had attendance of 27,900 people-ish. Last year, 56,614. That was in 5 years.
So it's double in 5 years. So.
Yeah. 6, I guess, but still.
Pretty crazy.
Well, you know what? Good for them.
I think that's just the the geek culture kind of exploding, right? Like we've seen it. We've all seen it.
Right.
It's a thing.
Yeah. And downtown Indy is actually revitalized quite a bit in that same time period too. So the Super Bowl helped a lot. Just like we would have 3 less hotels. No, 4 less hotels if it wasn't for the Super Bowl, because they built the JW Spring Hill Courtyard and Fairfield just for the Super Bowl.
That JW Marriott is a beast of a hotel.
Yeah, and so that's how many less rooms there would be were it not for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's just Gen Con's awesome and Gen Con's fun, but it's one of those things where if it wasn't the spectacle that it was, I could say no. I could choose not to go. It's
no, I mean there's really nothing like it. And Spiel is not like Gen Con.
That's what I hear.
Gen Con has it's gaming city. Spiel is a gaming convention inside of a convention center that just goes away at night. Like everybody leaves. It goes kind of almost dead. It's just kind of bizarre.
Well, the weird thing about it for me is that, and the thing is that, and maybe VGGCon's like the same way, and I just don't realize it. But for that, I mean, it's like there are people. The only time I'm going to be able to see them is if I go to Gen Con, and so I go there to see those people and hang out, and it's fun to catch up, and so I don't know.
I've heard that story from BGG Connors as well.
Yeah.
They have made friends over the years and gone every year and seen them.
With as crowded as it's getting, was it not for that factor with me living an hour and 15 minutes away, I would drive up Thursday, go in the morning, buy a carload of games, go home, and not go back. But I want to see my...
Yeah, you want to hang out.
You people, basically.
Interesting.
No, it's a lot about the people. That's our hobby, right? It's more about the people than the games.
Yeah, I think it is.
Games bring us together, but the relationships keep us together.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
it's a horse swallow, but it's nice.
Horse swallow.
Last year was my first BGG Con, and so this year's I'm going back, and I originally wasn't planning to do 3 conventions this year, but as time was going, when it was about time for tickets to go on sale, I'm like, I really want to go back and see the people that I'm not going to get to see if I don't go. So now I felt like I wanted to really go.
What other convention are you going to? Go ahead.
No, what you're going to Origins, right, Keith?
Yeah, I am going to Origins because Origins is not that far away. It's 3-4 hours for me, so 3 hours, I think. Oh,
yeah,
look, it's $50.
Well, the thing is that I was just gonna say, hey, above and beyond, above and below funded, yay! No,
of course it did.
It was my $50 that pushed them over the top. I'm sure.
Did you not see what they were at when you funded?
Oh, shush! Jeez. Give me a new nickname called the Ruiner. Anyway,
you want to be the first one.
Oh, that's sad. No, the thing is that other than BGG-Con and Gen Con and Spiel, but Spiel is like a pipe dream. I don't have the time or the money to go to Spiel. Other than those 2, I don't really hear about any of the other, I don't hear you got to go to Origins, or I don't hear you got to go to PAX or any of that stuff.
I don't think you have to go to PAX if you're a board gamer. At least not
I don't
PAX
think you have to go to Origins either.
I'm going to Geekway
if you're a video gamer. Yeah.
In May. Going to Geekway, so we'll see how that is.
That's very BGG Con-esque, so
that's what I hear.
You should have a good time. And Chris Darden runs it, so
it's going to be a crap show. So.
Oh yeah, shit show.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I've heard nothing but good things about the Geekway, and Chad is actually going to that too. So he's not coming to BGG Fam because of that. Because it's the week before or week after or something like that. Yeah, he's got a newborn, so. Can't do 2 conventions.
No excuses.
I don't hold it against them.
Too much, anyway.
You can hold it against them. It's fine.
I don't know.
No, I mean, basically the ones I go to now, since I'm going to BGG and I'm going to go to Gen Con, I mean, those are I don't have to worry about anything else.
No, I don't think so. Origin's somewhere in between those two.
So the thing about BGG Con, which you may not know, Lance, is the spiel comes to BGG Con. Like, we get 1,000 games coming back from spiel.
Yeah, but are they for sale?
Well, you can order them. You can order them from Fun Again if you want.
Where do I find a list of those games?
They will buy you every single thing you want. We do a thing called the Spiel Preview. Eric does that. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like the geek list of releases that are coming out.
So you go to BGGCon and you say these are the games I want, and then somehow they come to me.
Well,
you do that before, right?
You do it before. You have to. Yeah, you kind of have to buy before you try in this situation, but typically, you're gonna know what's hot before that you could order.
But I felt like Fun Again had a lot. Also, that was Essen.
Yeah, they had a lot of extra stuff too. They bring quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's something specific that you're like, I need this, then they'll get it for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. But you got so you have to.
I mean, here's the thing: you're gonna be paying for it. It's like double price. That's what it costs. Basically take the amount of take what Fun Again pays for it at Spiel, which is let's say €50. It costs €50 to bring it back, so it'll be €100. It's
weird.
Yeah, just basically double the price of every game. That's basically. They might do a little better if they have quantities and stuff. Maybe it's a little cheaper than that, but typically, a rule of thumb is double the price.
Interesting. If true.
Their air shipping stuff back is not cheap.
Well, why don't they just put it on a pallet and have it do the slow crawl? Then it wouldn't cost as much.
Then you'll get it in February.
Well, yeah, then I wouldn't have to pay the extra air shipping then, right?
Well, then you can just wait.
You can wait, yeah.
Don't confuse me. So you're saying I should wait?
Well, it's up to you.
Yes.
But was there anything in Spiel last year that everybody has to have now? I don't know. I haven't gone back and looked at the list of Spiel releases to see what was stand out yet. I think
the hot one most people don't have is Spyfall.
Yep.
Right. That was really limited though at Spiel.
Yeah.
Very limited. No. It's kind of weird how 1,000 games come out and then it's like, oh yeah, I don't remember anything that came out, and here's the next 1,000. Crazy.
Well, that's just it. It's because they have 1,000 games, and most of them are remarkably forgettable.
My favorite from Essen was Boom Runaway. Well, the other ones I had before, so, yeah.
I mean, Alchemist was hot.
Alchemist was a big one, but that sold out quick, and it was almost all pre-orders, I think.
And Castles of Mad King Ludwig was hot.
But there were, for some reason, I thought there was a copy or two of that at Gen Con, but I might be wrong.
They just had it on demo, but they didn't sell it. They released Subdivision at Gen Con.
Meh.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the solo play of that. It's not so bad.
Yeah, I heard of that
campaign thing.
My best purchase at BGGCon was Mysterium because people keep asking me to bring that everywhere I go.
That is a special game.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It doesn't sound like it's a very nice. It's a special game.
You have to have the right group for it.
No, it's a special game. It's one of those kind of that comes along every 5 years, right? It's special. It's gone over really well with everyone I played it with.
Yep. It's pretty popular.
Nah. So let's see here.
Grump.
Well, has anybody played any games that they really like lately that I can rip on?
No, but I did.
Tragedy Looper?
You know what? I get what Tragedy Looper was trying to sell me. I just didn't buy it, I guess.
Did you play anything beyond the first scenario?
I played it 3 times.
Okay.
The first scenario 3 times.
God, why am I friends with you, Rhiannon? I have no idea. No, I mean, there's that, and then, God, what was the other? I don't know. I tried to. I'll say this: it was fairly innovative, which is something stunning in board games nowadays. I mean, for something to actually be kind of new, yeah. But no, I mean, and then that was a weird one that like it was imprinted. I mean, Z-Man / Philosophia or whatever, they have always had weird release dates and publishing schedules. It just drives me crazy. It drives me right up the wall. I don't know. Yeah, that's just me. Well, it's just like you're alone. It just seems like now. I mean, back like 5-6 years ago, it was okay to be like a publisher that was like, well, I don't know when this is coming out, right? Or just to be like not really update anything, just say, oh yeah, the reprint's coming, And like now it's like because there's a fan base that's so huge, it's like it's like they want, like most publishers, it seems like, are trying as hard as they can to give really like locked down times and dates of things that when they're coming, and they want that to be very noticeable. I don't know. But like Z-Man is just one of those publishers that just kind of just doesn't really let you know what's going on. I don't know. It's crazy.
It must be frustrating for stores too, right? Because they can't plan anything, right? Like,
well,
people come in their store and they'll be like, "I want Pandemic the Cure. When's it coming out? I don't know." That's.
Well, way back in the day,
but that's a big problem with a lot of publishers, though. I mean, I think there was a big talk about that at Gamma Trade Show.
Yeah,
distribution is just like horrific right now.
Way back in the day when Boards and Bits was still a thing, great story. Tom, the owner, and I would talk on the phone every once in a while, and mostly because I was giving him a lot of my money. And he flat out asked me one day if I would be interested in running a website that would just have the most clear, most up-to-date publishing dates for board games. And we actually, yeah, and I said, how is it even? How do you think it's even possible that this would work? And I said because nobody would want to give you a firm date because if it was wrong, the backlash.
His suggestion was to call every single company every few days, every week or something. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. Man, that didn't sound like a viable solution to me.
No, it didn't. And I mean, at least some companies like Fantasy Flight has that rolling clicker, where it says this is on the boat or this is in pre-planning or whatever.
Fantasy Flight has it, and Plaid Hat has it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's that going on. But I mean, but like Rio Grande Games is another one where it's just like you never know, what's going on with them. So I don't know.
I think a lot of times they don't even know.
Well, and the thing is that for the longest time it really, really bothered me. But then I don't know. I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, well, it'll eventually be published. Who cares? Just because I don't know. It's kind of like we had this discussion once before. Like the very first time, like you get into board game on the website for Board Game Geek, it's like you're inundated with all the knowledge, and you can't possibly figure it out. And then you slowly figure it out, and you start understanding the website, and then you start seeing all these crazy games. Then you start buying all those crazy games, and you're like, and then maybe finally you start posting, and then you start posting a lot, and then you start like having these conversations, and you kind of get to know people on there. And then maintaining that is impossible. I mean, I hardly post anything other than my videos on Board Game Geek anymore. And it's not because I don't think it's a good resource. It's just I don't have the time to keep track of everything.
People go through phases of it, sure.
And the thing that's crazy. Well, what's crazy about it is that, like, and this is going to sound weird or maybe even a little I don't know what we're looking for here. I wish I had gone to BGGCon when I was more in tune with the community, because there were like a handful of people that like I could always count on to post in the same threads as I did, you know, and like because I knew that they were following the same games as I did, and we'd have discussions about those in the message format, and like I've totally lost track of all those people, and like, you know, if somebody walked to me, oh my I'm such and such on Board Game Geek, I'd be like, okay, you know, I don't know who you are anymore, you know. It's just, and that kind of sucks. 'Cause I wish I'd maintained that level of interest. You know, and what the death knell for me was when my work finally blocked Board Game Geek because it had the word game in the website. Because I just couldn't log on and check things anymore. You know, I just, you know, and then my work probably improved.
It's hard to maintain personal relationships beyond a certain number, right? So if something comes in, something has to go out usually. If you're at that limit.
So when the screenshot that every once in a while you'll see a screenshot of your Board Game Geek thing, and you have like something like 78,000 mails in your inbox. Aldi, yeah. Is that on purpose?
I do all my email through Google.
So you refuse to.
I don't actually use my own system to respond to my email. Well, it gets forwarded to me, and I see it, and then I reply. That kind of thing. That's basically what I do.
You're just seeing how far you can have a climb, right?
How far what? Oh yeah.
How many?
Probably clear my box out a little bit.
No. Are we doing phrasing? No Archer fans in here, really?
What did you say?
I just started watching it.
I said, are we not doing phrasing anymore? When somebody says something that, like, instead of saying that's what she said, you know, that's their thing. Like,
phrasing?
Yeah, phrasing.
Archer to know that joke.
Oh man, Archer is like.
I mean, I have watched it. I just haven't. I'm not up to date with it.
Archer's right up there as one of the best shows on TV. It's just
so. Can I tell my Archer story? That Lincoln loves Archer, right? He told me get the DVD and watch it, and I'm like, okay, I'll get the DVD and watch it. So I put the DVD in and I started watching it, and the first episode is the Raptor episode.
Okay.
The Velociraptor episode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And I had no clue of what was going on, and I'm like, this is terrible. You have to. You don't watch the Velociraptor episode as the first episode. That's not. It's the bonus episode, right? But when you put the DVD in, it's the first one that plays. So
weird.
I was like, what is this crap? I don't understand it.
Well, that's. I mean, I guess I see where you're coming from, but no, you gotta. I mean, you're not.
You know the Velociraptor episode, right?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, but no. Here's my question to you, though. But
you don't start on that episode, right? You watch the real first episode, and then you go from there. So it turned me off instantly.
Okay, I understand that then. Yeah.
Because Archer is a show that you actually need to know the continuity to understand half the jokes.
Right. Anyway, so I put off Archer for a number of years because of that, and he's like, I go, well, what's with the deal with all the dinosaurs? And he's like, what dinosaurs? And I told him, I'm like, it's all dinosaurs. I don't understand who's who. So, that's my Archer story.
Okay, well, I mean,
Sorry,
I get that. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, but the thing is that who watches anything on DVDs anymore? Everybody watches it on Netflix or.
It came out like 5 years ago, right, or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was DVD time at that time. So.
or
DVDs were still around.
Yeah, well, they still are, but nobody watches them unless they're like a kids movie or something. Yeah,
like,
or everybody DVR stuff now, or they do whatever. So
you have to watch Archer to catch up, so you're ready for Archer Love Letter. Yeah, that's a thing.
Is there an Archer Love Letter?
Oh yes, it's coming.
Sweet.
It's got a new hook in it as well. The Man Hands card.
It's a Velociraptor.
No, it's Lana's card.
Sweet.
It'll be amazing.
2009 is when Archer came out. Before Netflix stuff came. So anyway, defending my purchasing of a DVD. I also bought Venture Brothers on DVD.
Well, Venture Brothers is amazing, so
I
and
agree.
they need another season of that desperately. Desperately need another season of that. I'm so annoyed that they
Is it
haven't.
cliffhung? I am not up to date with that either. But
I won't spoil anything for you, but
No,
I
I'm
mean,
just
it's-
saying, is it cliffhung?
well, kind of. I mean,
Kind of. It's
and
cliffhanger.
also Metalocalypse needs another season, and I don't know. It's just makes me so angry. And then, for that matter, if we're gonna go through some, I mean, and I know everybody's like, "Ooh, another season of Firefly." No, you got your movie, so just you don't get any more. You know what show? What showed Carnival on HBO? And like, if you ever watch the first 2 seasons of that, and it ends totally cliffhung, and you're SOL, because that show will never get redone, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So, not
You
just
never
make
know.
myself angry.
You never know. The X-Files is coming back. Fox just signed
That's
6
cool.
episodes.
They're gonna screw it up completely,
Yes.
but that is really cool, and I'm very excited to see what they do with it, and and I think that they could very possibly revitalize it in some way, and I'm excited to see the Coveney and Gillian Anderson do their thing again, because they definitely did work really well on that show together. And I think it was a very good thing. And also, I remember X-Files. I mean, I just loved that show. I was chomping at the bit for more episodes all the time. So
did you like the episodes of the Monster of the Week better than the conspiracy episodes?
well, it depends on. I mean, because I'm gonna do I'm gonna play the game of Scruples and be the worst player and say that it depends to every answer, because the Monster of the Week was cool. And I enjoyed that aspect, and like but the thing was, it was like the stuff that actually continued the conspiracy theory was better, but only when they actually did something, and it wasn't just once again, it's like, oh, and Scully wakes up just after the things disappear or something. You're just like, oh, how many times are we going to do this? I mean, I remember when I went to the X-Files, the movie. My buddy Craig was with me, and like we were both talking about it. We're like, I hope finally this is going to be like the episode, to use a different vernacular, that Velma actually sees a ghost and like actually believes, and of course, like she's abducted, she's on the UFO. Mulder goes in there, finds her, gets her out, she's unconscious, and like literally the giant UFO takes off. And flies into the clouds, and she wakes up just after it goes away. And my buddy Craig, goes, "Fuck this!" He was just pissed. He was just so mad, and I was like, and that's what it was. It was so contrived. It was, and it kind of overstayed its welcome in a lot of ways, and it definitely had the whole. And it was Lost before Lost, because you definitely got the idea that they caught lightning in a bottle with it, but they had no idea they had no idea what to do with it. And you're also, whenever you have a show like that, you're screwed, because there's no way you're ever going to come up with an ending or come up with something that's going to satisfy your audience. There's always going to be this contingent of people that are going to be, frickin' pissed about the way you went with it. And
don't get me started there.
Well, just look at the whole thing with his sister. It was just like, and then it was just like they realized there was no way they could ever bring her back. There was no way they were ever, and so they in a sense just kind of killed her off, but didn't really kill her off. They kind of just, they had that weird spirit moment. And so like they said that Mulder finally came to peace with the fact that she had moved on or whatever, and that was like, and everybody was like, that's so unsatisfying. I mean, they wanted they wanted to have the, you know, the feel good moment, and you know, they didn't give that to the audience. So I don't know, but like I said, I'm edging into me going off on a rant about Lost, and I don't want to do that.
Oh, don't. Oh man, I was so disappointed with that.
Oh, okay, fine. I'm gonna do it. So here,
I mean, we know.
No. I mean, like, so I mean, no. This is cathartic because I still get so mad. It's just like, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, there are episodes of Lost that have just stuck with me, and like, just like, wow, that was just so well done, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, even like, you know, the first Locke-centric episode, I mean, was absolutely brilliant. It was like the episode that I said, this is something special. This show is freaking nuts, and I was just like, and I bought into it hook, line, and sinker at that moment. When they did the flash forward but didn't tell you, another great moment to me. It was just like, because you're so used to the show just finally really screwed with you. But the whole thing, when the creators, like, people were like saying they're in purgatory, they're in purgatory, they're in purgatory, they're in purgatory, and they were just like, no, they're not. You know, they swore that wasn't the whole thing, that they weren't already dead, and that, you know, they were. And then the final season, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this and I'm giving something away, but, you know, I think the spoilers thing is long since over. They were all dead. You know, and it's just like, it's so mad that it's like you bought it, and then maybe that's my own fault for believing a bunch of liars.
It's quite disappointing.
How about the fact that like they go to heaven or whatever, or wherever the heck they were, and even though I can't think of the actor, the Iraqi soldier guy. I can't think of his name right now. Saeed, yes. So Saeed has this storyline about this love of his life, right? This woman that, like, you know, he was supposed to torture, and then he let her go, and then he went searching for her, and then he finally found her, and then they actually had like this idyllic life, and then she was killed, and then he started hunting down the people that killed her and all this stuff. And that was his one true love. But when he gets to heaven or whatever, his one true love is Shannon. It's just like, what? Yeah. Why is he with the blonde, dumb bitch? You know, I'm just like, this is so dumb. I don't know. There's so many things about that thing that just drove me crazy at the end, and the fact that they completely and totally screwed over the character of Locke that final season. Like, you know, just
But I wish we were friends back then we could argue about all this stuff when it happened. 'Cause I mean, I've gone through all the things you're going through now with other people, and it's with Matthew, and it's like, it's so frustrating.
Well, it is. It's just like, and like, it's because there are so many people that different. I mean, there are people that had great character arcs, and I will say this:
Saeed was one of my favorites.
Well, Saeed was, but his ending sucked. You know, but the guy that. Oh no. There's one exception to that. Charlie had a great ending. When he's at the thing. I mean, I will fully admit to shedding a tear. Well, no, because like he goes through. He sacrifices his life to let, you know, to save everybody or whatever, and then.
But he didn't really get an ending.
Well, no, he did because he's in purgatory or whatever, and what's her face, the Australian chick that was pregnant, she's having her baby again in purgatory or whatever, and like, remember, because he dies, and she realizes that she loved him, and she can't wait for him to come back, and then he dies, and he's been in love with her forever, and then in purgatory or whatever, because they had to have that moment where they would remember. You know, where they were or who they were, and remember what exactly they did. And she's having the baby, and then he has that moment where he realizes who she is, and he like comes to, and he realizes, wait, this is the girl that I'm in love with. And then he says the one thing that makes her realize that at the exact same time, and they realize now that, you know, they have this whole backstory, and they finally found each other once again, and now they get to be together. And they get to raise the baby and the whole thing, you know, and so it's like, So I was like, that was actually really good. I'll fully admit to that. And the moment when the one other time I actually was moved to have a dusty room or whatever was when the guy in the I can picture him, the guy that was actually in the well, the grate, Desmond, when he finally is able to talk to what's her face, Penny. Like after all those things he's been looking for, and he finally gets to talk to her.
I think Lost had a lot of good things about it, but just overall that ending was just so disappointing. The final season.
The final season was off the rails, but the final season of what's his face just lying down in the grass to die with Vincent the dog next to him was a good way to end it. That was a great bookend. I'll fully say, like, kind of ends the same way.
You almost convinced me that it ended well.
Yeah.
You have so many positive memories of it. I don't really have any positive memories.
He must not have watched it recently.
What makes me mad is that they were they had planned and they had storyboarded out a Vincent episode that was just going to see the whole it was going to show from the dog's point of view, and I think that would have been amazing. That would have been really
good. That was probably during writer's strike, right? They probably had writer's strike and they probably had to cancel it or something.
Well, I mean, even like Sawyer, like what's his face? I can't remember the guy's name. You eventually learn that he probably wasn't that bad of a guy, but there was the one guy with the beard, and I can't think of the actor's name right now, but he was like one of the bad guys. He's one of the others, and he's the guy that goes, "We're gonna have to take the boy," and then he tries to kill him by throwing the grenade on the boat and everything like that, and then basically when they charge it.
Never resolved.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they charge in there. And Sawyer like sees him, and like he knocks him to the ground or whatever, and he's got a gun, and then he says something flippant to Sawyer about it's like, oh, okay, well, what are you gonna do now? And then he just shoots him in the chest. He goes, I told you not to take the boy, and that was like, oh, that was actually just like cold blooded but kind of cool, So I mean, there's like moments that I've really liked about that show, but. The whole Man in Black thing at the end, and the two warring brothers that never made any sense, and just.
Now you've depressed me at bedtime. Way to go.
Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's just. But you can't. They can't all be Breaking Bad. I mean, look. Think of all the moments in Breaking Bad that were just so eminently satisfying.
Yeah.
It's just
that might be my only show that I didn't love the ending, but I wasn't disappointed.
It ended exactly how it had to. I mean, honestly, and the thing about Breaking Bad is like a lot of people say I couldn't get past the first 3 episodes or so, and it starts out slow.
That's too bad. Yeah, very.
I mean, if you don't, you have to get to about like episode 5 or 6, and then you start really getting into it, and then
that's what happened to me.
I've only watched 1 season, so.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I got to look.
Oh my! Go back and just start over and to watch the change and to watch. I'm glad I didn't give away the ending. I'm glad I didn't give away.
Oh, I know how it ends.
Don't say anything.
I was gonna say all kinds of stuff, but I mean, no. Even if you know how it ends, to like watch the progression of the show, and to actually like realize that you start really hating a lot of the people that like you've liked before, and they kind of alter and switch, and oh man.
I've walked in on segments of it, and I'm just like, ooh, okay. Like later episodes in the first few that I watched, where I was like, I don't know about this show. But there always stays with the wife, and she's the worst. I know that's the point, but good gracious.
You learn to hate Skylar. You do.
Yeah. As a chemist, there's some things in the show you're like, oh no, but
I'm not a chemist. I'll be fine.
By that.
Yeah, you have to set aside your disbelief on that.
Yeah.
As opposed to all those other TV shows where they follow along with the real world so well.
When you're supposed to be a chemist, you gotta act like a chemist.
I have a friend who he was in the military, and he was airborne. And like we went to go see Godzilla together, and he was like, "Oh man, that was so stupid. The way they were jumping out with the flares and everything." And I was like, "Oh, but the giant mutated lizard, that was real. You could buy into that." But whatever. What do you do? I don't know. Oh, it is late though, and this has been going on for yeah.
I actually have to do my April Fool's joke tonight.
Oh no!
I'm leaving on Sunday, so I can't. I'm not even going to be here to see it.
Can you give us a hint?
It's probably going to go up on April 1st.
It's not as big as what we've done in the past, but it's something. I can't give it. If I give any hints, it'll just completely ruin it. So.
Yeah. Well, you just kind of gave a hint by saying you had an April Fool's joke planned.
Well, come on.
Or maybe that's a joke to get you all worked up about it, and there's nothing.
The joke is there's not a joke, and it's big.
Maybe
nobody believes it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've usually done an April Fool's joke video, and I've done it I can't think of anything to do this year.
It's hard to keep coming up with ideas, man. I kind of wish the internet would take a break on it all, but the one this year is actually really easy for me to do. I'll give you one hint. It's easy for me to do, so I'm going to do it tonight.
For you to do.
He's going to bring the site down for a day.
It's not like I can put the turn off button. Yeah, I can close the firewall. That's really.
Oh, people will lose their mind.
I remember when I cared. Oh, it's BG's down.
Oh, come on.
I hate that's the worst part of my day. If I ever go there and it's like, oh, we're updating, I'm like, no.
I could not be on all day, but if I go on and see that, then I'm obsessive waiting for it to come back.
Well, yeah. Okay, I'll say that because it's usually right when I need to look up a publisher name or I need to look up or a rules question. It's like, okay, God, freaking dang it, stupid thing and then you're trying to Google cache something and you can't find anything that you're looking for. Okay, I'll fully admit.
The days of weekly downtimes are gone. It's very rare. It's rare. I shouldn't say very rare, but it's more rare.
Yeah, never say never, man.
I know, I shouldn't say shit. I should not say shit because I'm leaving town, right?
Yeah, where are you going? Where are you going, Aldi?
I'm going on the cruise.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Cruise. Yeah. Jamaica, Cozumel, and Grand Cayman.
Yeah, Jamaica be crazy.
Which is exactly the same cruise on our honeymoon. So.
Oh.
Couple times. So. Yeah.
Did you sell any board games to go on this one like you did before? Remember you said you had to sell
board games. I sold a lot of my collection to pay for the wedding. Yeah, no. This time I didn't have to.
Oh.
Very lucky.
So what you're saying is you can find me a copy of that Viking ATID then, is what you're saying.
You know what? I did subscribe to it, so if I see a copy, I'll get it for you.
Speaking of Grail games, I just got my
Oh my gosh.
The other
That's
day.
a Grail game for you?
Oh, what?
It was.
Why do you get Grail games?
It came up, it was $20 to ship from the Netherlands. I was like, alright, I'll take it.
I found that game to be very challenging.
Oh, it's so mean. It's so great.
Yeah. It's a little too challenging for me.
What's your level of challenge that you look for?
I don't know. It's hard to put a finger on it, but I think repetition of turns where you're doing the exact same thing over and over is a tough thing for me. Because I kind of get tired of that, and then by the end it's like I know I need to do this stuff, but then I get tired of doing it, so I don't do it optimally, and then I get bored. I don't. I'd have to go back and it's been that game came out like 20 years ago, didn't it?
2003.
So 12 years ago, not 20.
A million years ago.
Let's see if I wrote
in
any
game
comments
speak, that
about
is like a million years.
I don't remember exactly how it worked, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to put a finger on when the game is too challenging for me.
Well, you see, there's these islands, and your boat goes around to the islands, and you do the resource picking up, and you're dropping your office on there, and you can totally block people out of there and steal their stuff or steal stuff from the island, and you can switch up the trade routes because you can only go from the one island to whatever the other two numbers on the board are, and you have to bid to even start, and so you can bid single numbers or pairs or triples and whatever, if it's doubles or triples and you're like a higher thing. It's super fun and mean, mostly mean. Keith passed out. That's okay.
I was glad when I was able to track down a copy of Neu Heimat. So I guess, But yeah, I mean, I don't really have Griddle games left anymore. It's weird.
Well, if I see Viking at Essen, I'll get it for you.
Sweet.
Yeah, the one thing about Essen that is cool is the flea markets are amazing.
I bet.
I mean, just you're like some guy. I think a new guy, or sorry, not a new guy. Someone had stopped by the BGG booth. It was his first time there. He was looking for something he could never have found in America, and I'm like, you'll find 20 copies of that because everything's like so common over there. So.
Fair enough. All right. Well, hey,
Cool.
thanks for hanging out as long as you did. I knew you didn't. You said you
No
hadn't
problem.
planned
It's just fun talking with you guys. I don't get a lot of geek talk in my life. So.
How is that possible?
What do you mean? How is it possible? I work at home. I work at home. I talk with Michelle, and she's we talk about not geek stuff, so it's hard for me to get to talk. Yeah.
All right. Well,
working at home really hampers your social life. Let me tell you.
You're just staying up to shut down registration. I've got your number.
Yes, I'm waiting for that. No. I mean, I miss work friends. Work friends are fun.
Well, standing offer to join us every week, my friend. If you got the time, we got to stop for you.
Fun.
All right, cool. All right, boys and girl, thank you for hanging out. Boomers, I'll see you guys on Friday night.
Okay.
Quest. And everybody who stayed up and listened and talked and whatever, I appreciate it. And those of you who tune in later, thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
See you later.